at 1 o'clock. Going to be some action, but plenty of small cappers as well from Sharif that are moving, I know, and Joe. Go get them, boys.
Trillion.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the Midday Show. That right there is your boy Joey Shivers.
Man.
Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And where's everybody in the chat, man? Let's see where everybody's at, Joseph. Let's go. We got your boy, everybody's boy, the OG Gorev. We got Why Not, Bob the Builder. I like that one. Yannick, NFL Fantasy, Sports and Stonks. We got the Northwest, Yeti, Sasquatch. I guess they're cousins. Jacques, Pitchbull, White Nubian King. Roaring Griffin, Mr. Easy Street and Monty G. Shout out to Flavius Pascan, Marvy Earth, and Hambriori. Ostentatious Productions, because he is ostentatious. Shout out to Bovin, the OG. Aziz, we got Rajesh, Chef Joe, Hip, Jake Roberts, Snake, Hossman, the Stock Professor. I like that one. Kevin Brooks. Shout out to Mike P. D. Rider. He be D-riding all the way from wherever he's from. We got Johnny Bravo.
The Oregon Trail.
Oh, wow. Don't even get me started on that yesterday.
That's where
Nostalgia. Nephew with a capital dang P. Don't you ever put that in a small P. Ina Rose. We got Shadow, 7S7, Napolitano at Miami, New Mexico Misfit. Dan, he is the undisputed trading champion. We got CompuCare Team. Boom, right back at you, baby. Go Bills. Hip. Who else? Ali Who? Super, no, yes, and one more, baby. Jose Santos 90. Welcome to everybody. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Wednesday. It is humid AF outside. Got back from the walk. Had to and there's no breeze either.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to even take off that nastiness a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to deal with that. That is how it is in Toronto, man.
That's how it is.
You like in LA, if it's 30 degrees, it's 30 degrees. In Toronto, if it's 30 degrees, it's like 38 or 40 degrees. So
38, 40
that's just the way it is, baby.
It's just how the cookie crumbles in these neck of the woods, guys. Yeah, so I mean, a good day so far. Long NVDA. All right, nice. Look, guys, I was actually short the same this morning. And then you heard me yell. I'm like, oh, no. What did I do there? Right there, Shreve? I hit the flatten key, so I got all out of that position. And I'm just like, all right, we'll take it for what it is. So, yeah, we were short here initially, just off of these specific signals on the 5-minute, guys. And it was across the board on a couple of these Mag 7 names as well, too. So just keep that in mind. I could have hopped back in, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. You just got to punch those keys and hit them. You can talk about it all day. As Katina Man says, you just got to essentially execute on that. But there you go. Nice topping tail candle right there. You can see that we had the inability to make a new high of the day, and then that's when we're like, okay, we'll get short here at the crack of that. We get a pullback, we add a little bit more, and then unfortunately we hit the all out right at the volume weighted average price. And by all means, I mean, that is one of the targets that you're looking for, and it's a strong name. But essentially what I'm just going off of what I've been telling you guys for the past couple of days is just that there's a lot of open interest. So I was expecting some downward pressure. And then the more that the market moves parabolic, I'm like, okay, be patient, wait for those indecision prints at the highs. And that's exactly what we did. We just executed on that. But there's other opportunities to get back in. And I'm going to look to hop in. If this pullback is relatively deep, we come back into this range, then maybe we'll get that slow curl over and that'll give us another entry here. But NVDA is really, really strong. And that was a nice move on the session, all the way from 160 to 164. And then now we came back down to around 162. I was going to see if I could diamond hand it to 162 by just taking small parts off and then just leave the bulk of it for a runner to 162. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case this street. So that was our only trade of the morning.
Okay. All right, Joseph. CLDI. This is the #1 gapper in the market right now. It's up over 326%. And we're taking prints here. All right, so we're in at 134. I perceive there to be support at around 134, 135, owing to the halt level there that we had. There we're taking 143s out. So I've layered into 145 and then 148. I also have a dip trade to support what I perceive to be possible, or to buy what I perceive to be possible support. As you know, I'm looking at the top screen where I'm charting off the 5-second. Boom, again, we take out 45s. Next level is 48s. We got shares on here so we can continue to take more prints. Let's go ahead and wet the beak, possibly at 49s, and then we're also going to wait at 53s. Let's see what we can get here. So here's what I'm seeing, guys, on the 5-second chart, which has me saying what I'm saying. So this period of inactivity here, that was the halt level. So that is at 133. As we've spoken about many times, these halt levels act as intraday areas of support and resistance. Let's see if this one acts in that way. In addition to that, I see this double bottom over here off, yeah, you guessed it, the 200 exponential. I know I'm charting off the 5, but whatever. There does seem to be support there. So I'm looking to front run that with a dip trade, which is now an incorrect area, is at 127. That will have to move up likely into 130. So I can do that manually. I don't have to adjust my order super quick. So we're in at 34s. It's losing the bid. It doesn't come down far enough to get triggered at 27. So here's the deal. We're going to have to keep an eye out on this one. Again, this is why I said I needed to move it up. For that exact reason. It finds support yet again at that blue line. I mean, right there. So we missed that because we didn't move up the order and I didn't do it manually, so it sucks. So we're taking prints here to the high side, but by no means are we in the clear, because this one, it can turn on you in a second. So we definitely need to be cognizant of that. Up into 38s and 37s we go. We've taken about 35% of the position so far. Let's go ahead, though, and talk a little bit more about what else is moving. So CLDI is the one that I'm yelling about right now, but there's other ones as well. CADL, much more calm, much more stair-steppy. What's happening over there, bro? This guy's dancing up a storm. I'm just going to finish this super quick here, Joseph. EGG, egg, baby. This is like, if this stock is not made for me, then I don't know what else is,
that
bro.
Breakout rate, that may happen right now.
I was thinking about getting on that. Look how many higher lows and higher highs we have in a row there.
Saying, brother,
right?
You can't eat.
It's a spready one, though.
Breakfast beside me if you don't.
I know. I'd be very disappointed in myself there, Joseph. So
Okay.
egg is moving, guys. Be on the lookout for that.
Good one. Good look there, guys. All right, we got rum stand. Billy Alov. Thank you for that rum stand.
Oh, I thought you said Rumsfeld. I'm like, I thought he died.
No, rum stand.
my bad.
Billy Yalov. All right, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. OSRH volume, but not going up. Let's take a look at that OSRH. Much appreciated. Thank you for that super chat as well too. Ooh, okay. I don't even know what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
This is not too good, to be honest with you. There's no liquidity here, so that's a little bit of an issue for me personally. Volume, but not going up. I mean, this is just a one-off print, and I don't know necessarily what your style of trading may be. If you're kind of like looking at that buyout style, getting those mid prints, etc. I don't know, but there's obviously liquidity issues on this one. We can obviously zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily. Are we breaking out or are we not breaking out? Is that no? You're lying to me. There's no way.
Show the screen, assassino.
There's no way.
That is just annoying. Annoying. Bro, what am I, a computer? Like, I need time. Like, over here, I don't
like, hey,
just
man,
react
that
like
breakout.
that.
I'm like,
okay, bro, like, let me analyze for a second. This thing doesn't give you any time.
Wow.
It was literally at 8:07. It's at 8:75, Joseph. That's frustrating,
That's
man.
crazy.
Egg cracked, says Sunny Little Tree.
It did crack. It most definitely cracked to the top side. Now it's frying up a storm. There you go, 125. This personally, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think very many of us, even Sharif, would be trading the same. It doesn't have volume or anything along those lines. What's up, Faye?
Yeah, but what's going on, man?
What do you got on the notebook there? All right.
It's got the secrets,
He's got the
baby.
secrets. Yeah, he's not going to tell us those ones, is he?
No.
All right. So there it is from a daily. Not too good of a look. I wouldn't be going long this name, Sharif.
Okay, we're doing it freaking live, Joseph. We're back into the high. Give me my money, man. Boom! Into the top, Joseph Wilson. 153 high a day on your boy CLDI. We still got shares on. That's the thing. So maybe we shouldn't get so excited and we should start looking for what the next trade is going to be. So let's go ahead and wait at 58. We're going to post up there and then we're going to take our breath and we're sending it to a Daryl page.
Yeah, best of luck there with all these crazy small caps. Google actually just had a little bit of a push here. Basically, Perplexity announcing the launch of its first AI-powered web browser called Comet. We know, of course, Google is in the browser space. Just be aware here. GOOGL kind of made this push down to 175.50, already bounced. In case you guys missed it, that is the story there for GOOGL. Again, already recovering. Back to you.
for that. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a pullback now. Back into the 140s. I still see higher highs and higher lows. So we take out the $0.50, Joseph, but always got to be on the lookout for these ones. They will bamboozle their mother, right? They don't care. They'll steal from whoever they have to steal from, Ram. These ones, they don't care about your feelings, you know, everything like that. They will, you know what I'm saying. I'm exaggerating for effect here. The idea is don't fall in love with the trade. Be on alert. Make sure you're using risk management because they'll turn on you in a second. So keep your eye on this one, 153 high, looking for more, Joseph.
Good look there, guys. All right, so there are some good signals here on the TQs as well. I was talking to my guy Gorev, and I'm like, and then sure enough, as you broke this support level, you get that flush down and some nice volume supporting this move as well too here, guys. So I'm looking for the continuation in the trend to the downside. I talk about this market just being slightly overextended. This is the TQs. I mean, I should pull up the Qs for more effect on that one. So there it is, right? So you go on this monster run from these April lows, and then now we're trading around 36% off of them. I think at some point we're going to get that pullback. I would like to see a little bit more cleaner, and maybe we're going to start to experience that right now. And it's funny, when I'm looking at NVDA, this move that we're getting, it's giving me topping feels. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But if we go back in the history of this name, where is that? Is that? Yeah, I think this is the day where it just really tanked. No, that's definitely not it. You know which day I'm talking about, though, Sharif?
Yeah. It's right there. That's the one.
It's this day right here.
Yeah.
It's this day. I think. Yeah. It's this day right here where AMD had the exact same thing. I'm not calling it the same scenario, but you just got to think from the move that we gone on from the April lows to where we're currently trading at. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of a pullback. And not only are the size starting to stack up through the strike prices on the open interest, at some point it's going to get that downward pressure, and I think we're going to experience that. So when I seen the market just go off the rails this morning, I'm like, okay, patience is the name of that game. Wait for those indecision prints that we see at extreme highs and extreme lows, and then look for the short based off of that.
All right, CLDI, coming back down into the low 40s, high 30s, zigging and zagging. I'm still not going to get out here because it's still putting in higher lows and higher highs, and there it is, attempting that 150 break again. Guys, don't fixate too much on how close it is to your stop. Look to the technicals. Are the candles putting in higher highs and higher lows? What is the trend? Is there anything that the trend is telling, or that the price action is telling you that the trend could turn on you? That's what I'm trying to look for. I'm trying not to really fixate too much on where I entered and where I exited, but where the price action kind of is hinting it is going to go. Sorry to keep you waiting, Adara.
Okay, just keep an eye here in GTREU. This is actually 5-letter ticker here. It is a special acquisition corp. This is Global Terra Acquisition, as you can expect it here, just opening just over $10. This is interesting. Apparently, they have a bit of a connection here to DJT because I guess 2 of the directors of this group were part of the DWAC team. Of course, DWAC was Digital World Acquisition Corp. They later became Truth Social, or Trump Media and Technology, DJT. So interesting look there for GTERU. This one pretty choppy right now. Back to you.
Interesting.
Shut up, Dan.
Yeah, shut up, Dan. Wow, I did an entire video on my I had to rant about that, bro. It's just so funny.
It's so funny.
I mean, he didn't even argue with him. He's like, no, Dan, I think you're wrong about this.
Nothing.
Oh, Dan, maybe, no, it's just shut the hell up, Dan. The guy's on every network pounding the table for retail investors about your stock, and you're just gonna crap on him like he doesn't matter.
Shut up.
Elon's,
there's no bigger of a bull than Dan Ives for Tesla.
Get it, Adara.
Well, it's funny too because I remember Sean was talking about this yesterday as well because he was like, I assume that these Tesla bulls are probably going to go after him, and I said, oh, they already did. So I told Sharif about this. One of the biggest Tesla bulls on X is this woman named Alexandra Mers, who goes by Tesla Boomer Mama, and she immediately was like, you are wrong. Like, you can't call yourself a Tesla bull, whatever. And then that like tons of likes on that post. So I don't know if you guys have done deep dives into the Tesla bull community.
Hold on, let me ask you, because I know you're tapped into this whole thing.
Very.
So what's the consensus right now with Tesla, with the Tesla bull community? Are they pro Dan or pro Elon?
Well, they're always pro Elon.
Well,
and that's the thing with the Tesla bull communities. I would say they are pro Elon to the degree that they're sometimes, I guess I would argue, they're almost not for the interest of Tesla because they're so pro Elon. I would say they view it as more the man to an extent than the company. But yeah, I'm pretty tapped in the community. I did check this morning, and they're very pro Elon.
Hold on, before you go, who are you pro?
Honestly, like I said, I want to kind of
Come on, Adara.
Okay, I think some of Dan Ives' arguments that he made are pretty wild. I think that he needs to, I get where he's coming from, but I think he does have a tendency in his analyst notes to get really hardline about his ideas. I think it's kind of impossible to expect that Elon would have agreed to that anyway, but I do stand by Dan Ives, and I get also at the same time why Elon was upset. However, shut up, Dan is quite the remark.
Well, Elon loves to be told what to do. Don't forget about that.
He hates it.
Yeah,
But
he likes
anyways,
it. He likes
I
it.
shall shut
Sign
the
the
door.
conservatorship. Sign the conservatorship.
Hey.
That's what he needs, man. Apparently, that's what he's talking about. Though they're like, hey, man, this guy's might have to start punching the clock. He has to spend X amount of hours.
I know, straight up. Like, what is
he gonna do? Like, are you kidding me?
By the way, fantastic pod by Stephen Bartlett. You know I'm a fan. He's got Kevin O'Leary on.
Yeah.
Man, O'Leary, you're going to see him in a light where you haven't seen him before, bro.
Oh, really?
Dropping hot lines, talks about his time with Steve Jobs, makes the comparisons between Jobs and Elon. That's why this triggered my memory. It's a fantastic watch or a listen or whatever for anybody out there. Obviously, we're not affiliated with Stephen Bartlett, but I want to let everybody know that that was a hell of a pod there. Shout out to O'Leary, and I did like what he had to say. A lot of good life advice, but also a lot of information that you're going to be able to kind of use there. So just wanted to throw that in there, Joseph.
Yeah, good look, guys. All right, put it in the chat. Pro Elon or pro Dan? We'll see what everyone's thinking there. Which one would you rather? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. I think this is going to be a really, really bearish day, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Nasdaq or even maybe NVDA go flat, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient. There was a solid entry right here at this high. As you can see that we rejected that 163.40, but I'm waiting for the Qs to pull back. I thought maybe, hey, we would come back and try to construct somewhat of a newer high, but that wasn't the case. You can tell that there's a lot of weakness within this underlying and in the market as well too, because Apple is just continuously selling here, and these pullbacks are extremely shallow. So there's multiple attempts. What I'm going to do is going to look for that next consolidation. We put in that put in a high potentially. You want to get the top end of the range just so we can better our risk to reward ratio, and then we'll look to take a trade off of that. But right now, this was the only short we had on the day. Enter here. This is where the bulk of the position was. Once the thesis starts working out, we come back up here, failed to construct a new high, we add a little bit more, take some off, and then unfortunately we just flattened out right there. So now I'm just being patient. That was my name of the game, right? Like when your trading's not the best, it's just me hyper focused, go back into that sniper mode and not necessarily take as many setups, just look for those higher quality trades.
All right, we got another high day here on CLDI, but it's putting in topping tails. Like I feel somebody of note with a larger account or an algo with a larger account here and a lot of commitment keeps pushing the short sale button at that $0.50. So there's clearly something afoot there. It's not obviously displayed on the level 2. It's mostly iceberg orders or hidden orders if you're a newer trader. That isn't really readily available on the level 2, which is kind of why I'm trying to use the 5-second chart there. But the issue, that's the bad side. The good side of the trade is we're still, believe it or not, even though there is a short seller of note at the $0.50, we're still putting in higher lows and higher highs. So I've got a couple of more outs on this bad boy. Just wet the beak there at 55. The high of the day is 56. We're straddling the $0.50 right now, as you can see. So I've got nothing to do here. I'm not going to add at this level because I don't know whether this is going to decisively take the $0.50 or whether this is going to be a point of reversal and then maybe we make it back down to the dollar where currently the volume weighted average price is hanging out. Right around that dollar. Now, here are the levels of support as I see them currently on CLDI. We have that halt level at 133. That is an intraday halt level, so that sometimes acts as an area of support and resistance. Below that, I know that there's a lot of overlap between some of these levels. The 10 exponential moving average on the 5 is at 131, 130. So that could overlap a little bit with the halt level at 133. Then below that, we have the 20 exponential moving average, which currently showing me $1.21. And then below that, we have the dollar, which is basically overlapping with the volume weighted average price. I'm not going to be DCAing into an oblivion here. So if we lose the halt level at 133, I'm out, and then I'll just basically reload at the volume weighted average price or wherever this one shows me it is finding support. I want to weasel into another trade, though. And the ones that I'm debating right now are CADL, which got into the $6.12 high. It's back down into $6. Psychological support is overlapping with the 10 exponential moving average. That could be an entry. Also, LXRX, not big mover, and not one that I'd really like to trade if I don't have to because it's too close to that dollar level. That one is at the volume weighted average price, which is a little bit above the dollar. So that one is also in focus. And then VOR. VOR is a holdover. We've been talking about VOR, I think, for 2 or 3 days. Now this one's had, obviously had a fantastic move Monday, gave back a little bit yesterday, but you can see what it did also on the shortened Thursday. So, we're definitely not at local highs, but fantastic support off the volume weighted average price. And then we're getting a bunch of higher highs and higher lows. And as I speak, it takes out the high of the day at 290. So VOR also in focus for me. And then there was others. SUGP was a big boy mover, but it's lost the volume weighted average price, so it interests me a lot less until and if it can kind of get above this $1.30, $1.35 level. SUGP, big boy mover. And then egg into 875, and here it comes again back down into 8. I took a gander at egg, and it displeases me because it's just too wide of a spread. Why the hell is it 9 pennies? Look at that, 51.11. How am I supposed to manage risk on a small cap gap with 51s on the ask and 11 on the bid?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I mean, even though the chart pattern is fantastic, you can just get cut up getting in and out of the trade. So egg, unless something changes here fundamentally with this name, I will not. I'm not gonna trade my namesake, but I ain't no egg, baby.
Ain't no egg, baby. There you go.
I don't have an egghead either.
Oh, okay, all right, man.
Just to call this other guy.
Wasn't there a show called Egghead?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was people also called egghead. I may not have used that word.
A term?
Yeah, it's okay. It is kind of a term of endearment as well as a pejorative term because when you're calling somebody egghead, you're implying they're smart.
Oh yeah.
Is that not accurate?
Well, I thought maybe that if I gave him a little whop, it would crack. You know what I mean?
There's this law, there's this principle in law. It's called, you guys Google it, it's called the eggshell skull rule. And essentially, you take your victim as you find them. So if you have a thin skull and I hit you and you die, I have to take you as you are. I can't make the argument that his skull was unnecessarily or unusually thin. Yeah, Dara, Google it. Eggshell skull rule. It's in tort law.
That's why we need that Texas rule of mutual combat. We need that mutual combat. I'll sign that petition right there.
I like that.
Mutual combat in Toronto.
Oh my God.
Or in Ontario. That would be a hell of a time there. I'm curious, if anybody's lived in Texas, have you ever seen two individuals call mutual combat and it's just like you can literally duke it out anywhere and not get in any trouble? But anyways, let's see what we got going on. I was looking at...
This is not just a trading show, baby.
No, we'll talk about it all, mutual combat, etc. So I was looking at coin. I seen somebody point this out. They're like, it's breaking out. Yeah, you guys are completely right here. And the volume supporting it, the downward pressure did start to kick in, and it was starting to form a topping tail candle. And with that being said, Joe, you looking at me? Yeah, I am, David. So with that being said, I was waiting for that print to close, but it's not going to right now. And the volume supporting it, so we don't want to go too heavily against it. So, Joe, did you see Nick Taransky at the golf course? No.
No. Yeah, of course, man.
Yeah.
Neil's coming in hot right now. He's got something to say, baby.
Canadian things ever. I'm not a hockey guy, but Joe, do you know do you know that guy?
No, I don't know that guy.
So Nick Taransky was a former enforcer in the NHL, and there was literally it's all you can find on YouTube. There was like a disagreement at a golf course.
Yeah.
Where some guy was super drunk and they were playing in front, and for like 15-20 minutes they wouldn't hit, and the guys behind were like, come on, let us go through or just get going, right? And at one point, so they're really getting on him, and at one point the drunk guy who won't tee off, he just starts going ape, like yelling at the guy who's telling him to get off, and you don't see who's doing it. You just see the drunk guy, and he's yelling him, feeding him, and he's like, let's go. And then he rushes the dude. And at that point, the camera pans, and you see the size of this former NHL enforcer. It's like, what are you charged him? I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That it was ridiculous. And he ragdolls the you know what out of of him, and he gives sound effects as he's feeding him. Like he's feeding him, he's literally saying bang, 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 and he's throwing him around. It's well, okay. So, anyways, you were talking about that skull thing. All I'm simply saying is, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to go tender for a minute, because my first thought wasn't, look at this guy get beat up. My first thought was, that guy's friends don't like him very much.
Oh,
because if you're wasted or whatever, and you find yourself in a situation like that, and whatever you're mouthing off, and it's so obvious the guy's twice your size, and what is going to happen? You watch none of his buddies that he's golfing with, they're not standing in front of him till after he's gotten beaten up.
I'm trying to get the video, Neil.
And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it just sort of tells me, like, he probably runs his mouth and says ridiculous stuff, and his friends don't take him seriously, so they're just like, whatever. It's like, come on, man. If you were really boys, like, you wouldn't let your friend get into that situation and get filled by an NHL enforcer. It's a pretty wild one. I'm surprised you didn't see. You're a hockey guy. I didn't know who that enforcer was till I looked it up. But if you can find the video, it's Joe.
Yeah, he sent it to me, but everything is trying to make me log in. We'll hopefully get it and show a little bit of it. Thank you for that story. That's hilarious. I'm surprised. I'm probably surprised that doesn't happen more often. Because
going at each other.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen people on the golf course?
Personally, I haven't. I've never golfed.
Neither have I, but I live across from one, and there's always people
yapping. Yeah.
They're drinking.
Yeah, drinking.
A lot of drinking.
Drinking and yapping is it's a recipe for disaster.
Straight up.
There's no questioning that, guys. All right, so the coin is setting up pretty good right now. We do have an inverted hammer here, guys. So we have 2 engulfing candles. This is a pretty strong signal right now. So we're gonna be patient as long as we don't crack this high, and then we establish a lower high right now, and then maybe we'll start to take a little bit of shares. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna use coin L on this one. As soon as we break that, then I think we're good to go, maybe into a next level around 362. But it is relatively strong, so be patient before you just hop right in, because the market is starting to rally back towards the volume weighted average price. Lots of indecision at the lows. Gaurav, I've seen that you're long some Microsoft, so good look there. Keeping my eye on coin to see what we got going on. But also, I don't want to be jumping around too much either. I want to stick to names that have been working for me and continuously just try to trade those names, because I don't want, like I just said, I don't want to bounce around. And if it's worked once, then you want to go back to it to see if it's going to work again.
Well said, Joey. All right, guys, I'm still holding a piece here of what's my friend called CLDI. Look, it's finding support at the 10 EMA. It hasn't lost the 10 EMA. What it did lose, though, was that higher low, higher high setup. It's put in 2 candles that kind of are lower than the predecessors, and obviously being topped off by that 156 topping tail. But again, it's still not losing the 20 exponential, or the 10, excuse me. So let me just see this through. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've moved up my stop to about 2 pennies below break even. Now what I'm really focusing on is CADL. So this one makes a 612 high a day, loses $6. In fact, actually loses $5.90. It goes into the high 80s. 589 is the low of this candle. Now it's putting in a green candle in between, yes, you guessed it, the 10 and the 20 exponential moving average. Oftentimes, a lot of these small cap gappers, the money fills, end up being, for whatever reason, in between that 10 and the 20. So that's what I'm looking for right now. This candle's got 2 more minutes. Keep it down, Ram. 2 more minutes before it closes, and then I want to see what the next candle does. Does it make another high? Does it make another low? And then we'll punch in there, knowing full well that $6 could be an area of psychological resistance. And I'm not personally seeing too much size, except this 1,000 lot order here waiting at 602 on Memex. Bless you. Now it's more. It's about 1,018 lots waiting at 602. And we don't even know what's waiting at 6. And I'll submit to you that there's likely a bigger sell order at the whole dollar that's hidden, iceberg order, than what we can see here posted on Memex at 602. 602. So that's what kind of I'm waiting to see. We got another minute now until this candle closes, and I want to see what the subsequent candle does. And then we'll weasel in if it is appropriate. So I'm keeping an eye here on CADL. The spread is acceptable. It's a 3 penny spread, currently 95 on the bid, 92 on the ask. So we'll see how this cookie freaking crumbles. All right, back quickly here because we're breaching the 150 again on CLDI, and again, we are being met with aggressive selling at the half dollar. 53 is now showing up. Can we see a breach of 56? That is the current high a day. We're taking out some orders here, some short sellers or profit takers at 53. 54 is now in view. 55s came in momentarily. They're there. So now we could make another move here into 56. But the deal is, guys, we're being met with aggressive selling at almost every penny here on CLDI. So it is in and around the half dollar. So you could make the argument that the short sellers are taking the short around the half dollar. If we can clear the half dollar by some distance, maybe, just maybe, we can squeeze into 2. I'm going to have to pack my patience on this one. It's not forthcoming right away, Joe.
Just like this, I need distance.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh. Yeah, well, look, you know. Yeah, well, it's melting there, Adara. It's like, it looks like tar in the streets. Yeah, well, there you go. Guys, obviously you guys can see behind us, Studio 8 in full effect. Oh, baby.
Behind us.
We made another high a day, excuse me, guys.
Right.
160 high now, Joseph, on CLDI. This one's on the war path to the high side. I'd like to see a squeeze into 75 before I wet the beak again. No point in me taking profits right here. I took profits at 55, Joe. Makes no dang sense. So just to quickly kind of get back to what Assassino was pointing out there. Yeah, right behind us. We're putting in a hell of a project over here, guys. It's chaos behind. There's dust everywhere. Ram's sneezing. Neil is sneezing. He's running out of allergy medication. Ram's having to
Who
kind
needed
of...
the allergy medication?
Your boy Neil.
Oh, my boy Neil.
Yeah, well, I take mine in the morning before I
was going to say, he's looking D's in that shirt.
Well, of course he's looking D's. That's not the point.
You've been hitting the gym lately, Neil?
Get it, Neil. He sessions at the crib
ask?
there.
What an insult.
Yeah. Man, you know his high school background, right? And college. You know he ran track.
Track
right?
star.
Yeah. He's a runner.
He's a track.
He's a track star.
All right, there we go. Good
That ain't by accident, baby.
There we go. Yeah, fun times as always here, guys, on the show. So we're looking to get involved in this. We're running right into this resistance zone. I'm going to be hyper focused on this name, guys. It's working for us. I have a slightly bearish bias. They say don't go into with a bias, but it's part of my trade plan here. And you can see that we're rejecting this 163.40 once again. So I'm thinking that if the Qs in the SPY have the ability to get to VWAP, look for indecisions around those neck of the woods. At this point, I'm going to wait for a liquidity grab because you can see we rejected this high right here. We sold off, but we didn't have enough. There wasn't enough demand to absorb this, right? So they didn't want to distribute lower just yet. So maybe they'll absorb some more liquidity. If I can get anything in like 45s, 163.50s even, then that's when I'm going to look to take a little bit of a short here. Start relatively small because there is an additional zone that we need to keep our eyes out on, and that's going to be right at 163.70, all right? So there's a lot of room, but one thing to note is that this is a little bit of a lower high as well too. So just keep that in mind. If you can catch the top end of the range, it's gonna much better your risk to reward, and that's exactly what we're looking for here, just quality trades, and I believe that the bearish sentiment is slowly starting to kick in. Eyes are still on coin, and I was looking at Bitcoin for a long this morning as well too, but how did that one go? Not good, if you ask. I mean, man, it is what it is there. Nice strong pre-market. I'm like, all right, okay, are we going to start to break out? Are we heading into breakout range from a daily standpoint? And price is really starting to compress in Bitcoin. So it's just a matter of which way is it going to go? Are we going to flush to the downside, or do we take that additional leg higher? And I think that's going to bring us to 120 or 125. Sharif's primary target right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
You see what I did there?
Okay, yeah.
You see what I did there?
I thought you were talking about one of my stocks.
No,
Yeah,
125,
absolutely. Right,
125.
Joseph. Everything's fine.
You see what I did
And takes
there?
my money and rubs it in my face. Okay, I see you, Joe.
I'm sorry, man.
All right, guys, look. It's another 160 touch and drop here on CLDI. I haven't taken profits at that level. I'm going to pack my patience, man. It's coming back down again into the 10 EMA. And I'm starting to wonder, should I be adding into this position here if we're going to get umpteen amount of bounces off the 10 EMA? And we have. We've been defending the 10 EMA since we literally reclaimed it around 1040. That's that side of the equation. The other side is we keep rejecting 150. I don't care about these spikes into 160. The short sellers are around the half dollar haven't been shaken. They haven't, because we're below the half dollar yet again. And if you were to calculate the time spent below the $0.5 versus the time spent above. What is it, a 9-to-1 ratio? So they're certainly selling at the $0.5, and I won't be convinced any different. The only thing is, do we get the breakout? And if we do get the breakout, do I get another touch off the 10 EMA that I'm going to regret not taking? So yeah, that's the situation. CADL, the other one that I was not involved in, but looking to get involved in. I was waxing poetic about what this candle was going to do here, the 1130 candle. 1130 candle is a candle of indecision. We've opened up a new candle now on the 5. It's also a candle of indecision. So I don't know. This looks like it may be a head and shoulders pattern forming in and around here. And I don't want to be part of that smoke at the moment. So 580 or thereabouts is the volume weighted average price. I'd rather wait for that level to come in, or show me the candle setup, higher highs, higher lows, I'll get in if it shows me that setup and then it looks to clear 6. So CADL is not setting up in a way that makes me feel comfortable getting in. There's also plug power, guys. And I'm hesitant to trade this because my experience with plug power is the best move is the initial breakout, and then it's absolute trash. And it lures you in with the look of a bull flag formation, and that's exactly what we're seeing here on the hot piece of garbage that I lost $1 a share on in the swing account, plug power, okay? There's the initial breakout there at around 9:30. The buy program turns on, and then at around 10:20, the buy program turns off, and now we're kind of doing the consolidation portion of the bull flag. My experience has been is that it's one bull flag and one bull flag only that you get intraday on plug power. Sometimes it holds above VWAP, so you can take like range trades or dip trades off the volume weighted average price. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, and it'll lose VWAP and retrace into a random area. So I've got plug power on here. If it sets up in the right way, it's up 19 1/3%, respectable move. But I've been burned by this one before, more than once, intraday and swing. So I'm gonna tread carefully here. Shout out to Vaughn.
Shout out.
What's this guy's full name over here? We gotta go fan funding, and Vaughn.
Vonnie Clark.
Why the hell doesn't it show me? Vaughn Clark, thank you very much, my man, for the $2 super chat there. GSAT, 27-cent contracts in the money. Should I roll, wait, or run? That's all you. I'm just going to cover the other two that we missed there because we're doing it live right now. Shout out to Kelvings TS, $10 super chat. Yo, boys, happy trading. Can you give us a quick rundown on your host so we know their strong points and who to take specific advice from? That's a great question.
That is a good question.
Rustam as well, $5 super chat. Thank you very much. We did that one?
We did
okay.
Rustam.
So let's start with Kelvings first. So I'm just going to speak here for myself. Okay. I like to trade the small caps. That's kind of what I like doing. Wow, look how heavy Jensen was in that picture. Ram, have you seen Jensen lately? The dude's jacked. Have you seen what he looked like in China? Look at that. Oh, my God. Why does he look like that? I'm talking. No, it's on Ram's screen. So I like to trade the small caps.
Kind of looks like...
My God, look how big he is there. Like, nothing wrong with that, but he's lost a substantial amount of weight,
looking
man.
Good, man.
Good for Jensen, man. Digressing here. Yeah. Your boy Joey Options, obviously, as the name denotes, he likes his options, but you obviously do a lot more than that. Your boy Neil will trade mostly everything. Everything under the, I've seen Neil trade everything. Large caps, mid caps, small caps, he trades it all. Buyouts as well. And then your boy Katina, he's gonna love the Mag 7. He'll trade other stuff other than the Mag 7, but 99% of the time it will zoom in, Assassino, if we can. On a little bit up, there we go. So on Ram's monitor there, oh, you sent it to me? All right, there we go. We're doing it live. Here it is. Let's bring it in. Your boy Jensen. I'm going to show the picture of where he was lately. So he's a heavier cat here, man. Good for him, though, man. Good for him. It takes a hell of a man to change. So shout out to Jensen over there. Anything you want to add on that?
On Jensen?
Adara's
okay, all right,
we got tariff
news.
Bro.
We're going to get tariff news momentarily. But yeah, Shrew's essentially broke it down pretty well there from everyone's skill set. I love talking options. We have another options question that we can go over. But first, we'll get back to that super chat about your calls, and then we'll go to Adara, and we'll come back here.
Yeah, Trump just started here the next round of tariff letters. So we've got the Philippines. We have, I'm just reading through these as we talk. We have this individual here from where is this coming from? This is going to be Brunei. We've got Brunei. So Philippines, Brunei. We have also here Moldova. So we've got Europe. We've got Asia. We have Algeria as well. So 3 different continents already in these tariff letters. We've got Iraq getting a tariff letter. Libya. I'm going to kind of sort through all of these, give you guys more info, but more tariff letters. So 30% tariff on Iraq, 25% tariff on Moldova. We've got 30% tariff on Algeria, 25% tariff on Brunei. So at least here, 25 to 30% tariffs on all of these. 20% tariff here for the Philippines. So they're getting the lowest tariff here. Highest tariff of this new group, Algeria and Iraq, both at 30%. You guys know once he is done releasing all of these, I'll be making a new infographic with all those rates, so not to fear. Back to you.
All right, Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X, has stepped down. I mean, I don't know. How long was she in there for? A year? May 2023. So stepped down of X. She announced in a post she was hired in May of 2023, months after he purchased what was called Twitter at the time for a light $44 billion. She did not give a reason, Joseph, for her departure. But, I mean, let's just call a spade a freaking spade, man. Yep. Let's start speculating because
Elon.
Things aren't calm in Elon's world at the moment.
We need an infographic of a timeline of Elon and all his like radical moves by the purchase of X, going down with Doge.
Would you believe me if I told you there already is one? Because there already is one. I have a whole infographic on all of this investment show, and I did this months ago. Because that's what we do here at TTV Research.
That's exactly what we do. Bang, love hearing that, Adara. Yeah, so I mean, this guy. Yeah, sorry, Fabian. I didn't mean to. I shouldn't have ever said that. But, I mean, yeah, very interesting.
Well, you realize what happened yesterday on Grok, right? You know what Grok was doing on X?
No.
Oh, boy. Okay, so it was hallucinating in a very...
Going crazy?
Yeah, I was saying wild stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about Adolf Hitler as being like a possible savior for certain things, was making anti-Semitic comments. I didn't read a lot of them, a couple of them here and there, but there was a lot of glitching in Grok and X yesterday. Because you know how you can elicit Grok on X. You tag Grok, you add it, and you be like, Grok, what is this or whatever.
And he replies.
Yeah, so some stuff is happening there, man.
Yeah,
some stuff's going on.
Yeah, some really weird stuff going on over there at X. And I mean, Elon's slowly just unhinging, which isn't a good sign there, guys. But okay, so sorry, let's get back to that super chat there. Yeah, exactly. The bone broth. He's lost in the sauce. I think Elon's
something's going on, man.
Elon's going in on that realm as well too. But I want to cover this super chat, Sharif, before we send it back there. So we got some Von Clock GSAT. I have that 27 call contracts in the money. Should I roll, wait, or run? That's a really good question. I mean, I don't know where you own them from or how many you own. You can most definitely, like when you put in an options thing in the chat, in the super chat, guys, just be a little bit more detailed about your expiration cycle, what you actually bought the price at, etc. But other than that, I mean, if you have a ton of contracts here, there's nothing wrong with holding them, but it also depends on your expiration cycle as well too. So if you're looking for longer duration, then sure, roll it. But I'll always say, like, I'll always advocate for, hey, just like sell some of them, lock in some of those unrealized gains, roll over the rest, and do what you want to with the rest, right? Just write down a trade plan, like, hey, okay, these are my targets. At this point, I'm going to sell 3 contracts. Sounds good. Okay, it's getting closer to my expiration. I'm losing some of the value to theta. All right, let me roll over another 4 contracts to see what's going on with the rest, et cetera, et cetera. It's just write out the game plan and just kind of stick to it. I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Plan the trade, trade the plan, and sure enough, you'll be good off. But there's nothing wrong with locking in profits. Neil says it, I say it, Sharif say it. You can't go broke taking money on off the table there.
Man. So. Well said. That's sound advice, man. All right, guys. This is why I always say this, man. They're around for a good time, not a long time, guys. CLDI halted to the downside. So we did stop out break even right there as it came down into my entry, and that's where we got out. So I'm happy with how this trade executed, but my suspicions were proven correct. The short sellers at the $0.50 were too strong for the buyers, at least on that particular instance. I don't take CLDI, though, off my side watch list. And the reason is because it's still above the volume weighted average price, which is currently at $1.02. So let's see how this cookie crumbles. CLDI, I'm a buyer likely of CLDI at that dollar. Now the dollar, there's many reasons why you want to pick it up off at $1, psychological support, this, that, and the other, but this one also has price action, both support and resistance. Look at what we were doing here in anticipation of that dollar, reject, 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 drop to the $0.75, then you get your big boy break. Your big boy break goes to that $1.33. And then lo and behold, you get to that $1.33, you drop down. Where do you hold up? Just guess, Joseph, the dollar.
Ooh.
So the dollar has played a part here, both in price action, proof, and, you know, as we always know it, to be the psychological area of support and resistance that it typically is. So 118 halt level, the halt time, 11:40, 153, add 5 minutes onto that, as these halts come in waves of 3. But we're doing it freaking live again over here on CADL. Punched in at 98s. It's showing me 09s now. It's taking out prints. CADL. I told you guys the money fills sometimes with these small cap gappers are in between the 10 and the 20. CADL did that exact thing. So now we're waiting for a print at 9s. It's showing me 9s, but it's going to have to cross for me to get the print there. Let's go ahead and print some more here at 12s, and then we'll wait at 15s for the one after that. So CADL, a few pennies, Joseph, off the high.
Good look there, guys. All right, so our trade plan here in NVDA is starting to come into fruition. So let's see if we can break through this resistance zone. And if we break through it on low volume, then that's when I'm going to post up, look to catch some fills, and then maybe we can take that second leg lower. I talked about the Qs and the SPY heading back towards the volume weighted average price. That's perfect because all these prints are relatively unhealthy, in my opinion anyways. You can see a lot of indecision within these 5 minute, and the volume is really starting to fall off a cliff and decay. So keep that in mind. I'd be looking for some rejection of VWAP, but lots of buying pressure within these candles here still, guys. So just keep that in mind. I think you got to be really patient considering I think the meat of the move has already happened in some of these, but who knows, right? You get that curl over, you form that lower high, right? So you can come off of this and then you come into this trend line. If you want to draw it at VWAP, we obviously don't have anything established just yet. You'd have to adjust this, but I mean, if you do come into there and even breach it on low volume, that's when you look for the indecision north of that, and then maybe you can get the continuation to the downside. So with that being said, NVDA, same game plan. So we're chopping around here, but one thing to note is that we're forming these consistent lower highs. Or sorry, higher lows, guys, is what I'm looking for. I always mix those two up. But there you go. You can see this trend here being formed, a secondary one at that, with a flat top. So you do have that wedge type price action. So what I'm going to be looking for is a breach of this resistance zone. And then anything north of that, look for the indecision, the fail of constructing that new high, and then you take everything towards the downside. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do head into 162 here today on NVDA. Let's pull up the options chain to see what we got going on. I was going to talk about the top performing sectors, but never mind that. When we got NVDA, we can talk about and options, which I find a lot of fun. But look at this size throughout the week start to grow at 160 here, guys. And then the ladder through that, through 160 all the way up to about 170, it's starting to increase as well too. So we want to keep an eye out on some of these strike prices and these key levels on this underlying asset. That's why I decided to short, right? We go to a high of around 164, and then I'm like, oh, okay, we got a lot going on at 165. We've already breached a bunch of these strike prices and some of these key levels. Let me see if that indecision displays itself, and then we can take a short, and that's exactly what we executed on there, Sharif.
All right, just reading some of these comments. Shout out to us. Look, TSLQ, I do see it, sports and stonks. I see what you're saying there, but I would say be careful for the loss of VWAP at around $20.35 if it loses VWAP, because it's been putting in lower highs and lower lows since 2078. I'm talking about TSLQ, guys. Do you think Run has a chance to run today? All is wands. Let's have a look. Run has been kind of volatile lately. It was moving up, it was moving down as a result of the the subsidies in the big, beautiful bill being cut for some of these solar names, excuse me. Yeah, nice breakout there, man. There was certainly a seller of note at 10 1/4. I mean, how many times did we have to move up into 10 1/4? What I love about this chart on run, and I likely won't trade it because it doesn't fit into my style there. What I love about this chart, though, is that 10 1/4 area resistance, right? And then when you look at the south side of the chart, higher low, not necessarily higher highs because you still have that 10 1/4 seller, and then boom, all the way up into 1040 as you get that flat top break. I don't have the animation. I was about to hit the flat bottom break. That's what we call an ascending wedge, guys. It's a good pattern. What really tips the hand here is the higher lows so that you kind of know that the buyers are in control, at least for the moment, but at least intraday, the sellers maintain some control by keeping that flat top at that 10 1/4. So I see what you're saying there. Good luck. Look, hey, watch out for technical areas of resistance. I would say definitely be on the lookout for that 10 3/4 from the previous day there. So yeah, good luck on Sunrun. Mike P, the rider. Yeah, man, you called out Bloom Energy. So I want to shout out Mike. And I want to shout out Mitch at the same time because your buddy Mitch yesterday has been talking about Bloom Energy for a while. And BE having a day over here. Where is that at? It's been on my side chart, or it's been on my watch list, Joseph, since COVID. This thing is up 20% today. Okay, Bloom Energy is a $6 3/4 billion company. This ain't no small cap gapper. Nope. Maybe it trades like one, but the market cap certainly ain't. So be on the lookout here. Bloom Energy, a lot of respect for the 10 exponential moving average. And then you see it dips down, breaches a 10 momentarily, finds support at the 20, then moves along its merry way to make higher highs and higher lows. I just say be on the lookout for that $30 level. That could be a psychological area of resistance on Bloom Energy. Shout out to Mike. Great look there. Anything else that I have to look at here? Above says GROV is moving up. Let's have a look at GROV quickly here on the side chart. Let me just vet that. Yeah, moved up quite quickly, but it's moving down as quickly as well. Ilkin Javid, Sharif, I couldn't catch any of your trades on time. I'm sorry, brother. It's not really my control here that these small cap gappers, they move very quickly. So what can I say? I do apologize about that, but there's not much I can do on that end. What else we got over here? Mark Susi, what are your thoughts on playing Meta break all-time highs? Joseph and I were talking about that off camera. We were looking at which these Mag 7 names were making all-time highs. Softy, obviously. NVDA, obviously. We were looking at Amazon as well. That's still not at all-time highs. But your friend Meta there, Joseph, oh, baby. It made all-time highs, I think, intraday anyway, on the 30th. And then here we are again, you know, about 13 bucks away from 750. Look, it's just a matter of time. Let's just be real about it. It's a matter of time. Yeah.
To make all-time highs?
The only thing that I can see raining on Meta's parade right now is that the next earnings report, they disclose, as they have to, all the money they're throwing around. So they took they took a position today in Exotica Elixir or whatever the company is.
So you think CapEx is going to exceed?
CapEx has been big. Yeah. We know the AI CapEx has been through the roof. They disclosed that in the last earnings report, $65 billion I think they're spending. And then all that money he's throwing around to pick up AI talent. That's number two. Number three, he's making acquisitions. And he seems to be really taking advantage, Joseph, of the higher share price now because he's got more cash on hand.
Absolutely.
Right? So he's
I'm okay with the CapEx spend, to be honest with you. I mean, the more these hyperscalers spend their money, I think eventually they're going to see an ROI, right? Just learning to monetize all this stuff significantly better. And I think it's only a matter of time until you start seeing advertisements on ChatGPT. You type something in, you got to watch a couple-second ad or something along those lines, right?
I agree with you.
But I mean, yeah, this guy's throwing around ridiculous deals, Zuck, but he only paid that Apple exec, he paid tens of millions compared to the hundreds of, to the hundreds of millions that he spent and invested in on, was it Scale AI, I believe it is, and then SSI as well. Yes, I forget what the SSI stands for. Save something, something. Anyways, but you know what the SSI company stands for?
Scale?
No, it's not Scale. It's Scale AI and then SSI.
He picked up Scale AI. You know why? Like, as talented as Alexander Wang is, he's obviously a hell of a guy with that labeling thing for the LLMs. But a lot of people in Wall Street are saying that he picked up Scale AI to hamstring his opponents.
Absolutely.
Because they were all using the labeling by scale. Now they're all going to have to deploy their own cash, build that ish in-house, right? And then at least he gets maybe a 6-month, 3-month, whatever head start on everybody else because he's now got it in-house. And we saw what happened after he picked up scale. Adara, weasel in for a second if you can because I need your memory. Who canceled their contracts with scale when Meta picked them up? It was like Softy and Google?
It was Google.
Google, only Google?
I think maybe Softy's one. Google's the only one that I really remember that being like a big headline that they canceled their contract with Scale. But yeah, I mean, I think Google was the main one. There's a couple others, but Google's the main one.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, that's a big competitor with Gemini, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think Zuck's playing chess out here while everybody might be playing checkers, even though it's obviously a competitive field. But yeah, I think there's obviously a strategy behind everything what he's doing. He's essentially cutting off the circulation of all his competitors.
Feels like that.
Right? And I think that's going to be a good play for Zuck.
Let me ask you another question, though.
Yeah.
Does he get away with that scale investment, let's just call it that, because he doesn't have control, under the wrath of Lina Khan?
Yeah.
He gets away with it?
Yeah, no. He's probably going to face another antitrust there.
That's what I'm thinking, right? So he's clearly taking advantage of the political environment, right? I mean, why wouldn't you, right? You're doing for the best of your company.
Yeah, so Lina Khan, yeah, very interesting. Good question there as well, too, guys. All right, so you can see that we're just chopping around here. I think at some point we're going to break through this, and then that's when we're going to look to get involved. But we got this resistance zone still displaying itself. You can see that we're heading into support as well. So we do have these higher lows, which is not a positive sign, but I mean, at some point, maybe we'll crack it and we'll flush all the way down to 162. That's going to be a primary target. I don't know if we're going to necessarily get there. That's quite a move down. And I'm looking at the options chain. On the put side, I mean, there is a little bit of a wall there at 162.5. Okay, so that's fair enough. You can see that we're continuously bouncing off around that round 163. We do have 99,000 open contracts right there. So we talk about call walls all the time, but let's talk about places where we can find bounces as well, too, right? So just keep that in mind. 162.5, 99,000 current open oh, that's the volume. Sorry, excuse my part of my French there, guys. Yeah, I'm totally off on that one. So 162 is totally feasible. There is nothing there. And 160 flat is a potential support level. But if you do head towards 160, watch out for this call wall because you might want that. You might see that downward pressure from these hedges, so these contracts can expire out the money. There's one thing that I want to touch on as well too before, and Obi brought this to my attention. I wish I could bring up this. I wish I could bring up the chart, but one of my platforms isn't in my Discord. But there was a seller of some contracts at 177. He showed me this, and the majority of this is him. And it was very, very interesting to see. Now those contracts aren't nearly as expensive as they were, but that open interest is still lying roughly around the same amount of size. So I think he's still holding on to them. He's actually out of the money, but if you looked at them this morning, or sorry, last night when I pulled up the options chain, these were roughly worth about $2 here on the ask, and he would purchase a bunch, like I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of these contracts, I think totaling around about just under $1 million, and then essentially he doubled his money, but that's now not the case. He's out of the money now because we are, well, he's not, yeah, he's out of the money because Google's trading at 177, which is very interesting, but he had 100% return when Obi and I were breaking it down last night. Yeah.
All right, guys, I've entered a new position, and I'm likely going to get stopped out here on CLDI. This came close to the volume-weighted average price. It put in a hold-up, one big red candle. The subsequent candle is green. I'm giving this to 06s. It dips into 06. We're going to lose 8 pennies quick like that on CLDI, so we'll give back a little bit here. Took a much smaller position so that we don't give back too much, but it looks like we will give back some. If it ends up bouncing, and then shows me higher highs and higher lows, we'll get back in. But for the moment, not going to dollar cost average into a trade that's been putting in lower lows and lower highs since 11:30, so almost half an hour now. I've tried to give it to prior bar low. We'll see if it wants to pop up or what. As I was watching this form, there's a seller at 14. They're back. You can see some size posted on the level 2, some you can't see, and rejects 14 again. So that 14 seller, $1.14 on CLDI, can't shake them. at least for the moment. Let's move back to the other one here, CADL. This one's still putting in a defense of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 with a 612 high. We're showing 07s now, possibly into 08s. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Okay, so nice. What's it called? CLDI took out the 14 seller, got into 16, so we take a beak wetter there, but definitely looking for a bigger move up. Back into 16 we go here on CLDI. So we take out the 14 seller, I mean, momentarily, but that doesn't mean they can't get in again. So we'll pack our patience there. Let's talk about plug power, because let's just say I got this one wrong. Okay, I've been burned by plug power multiple times intraday, and so I had a bias going in that this was going to be one bull flag and one bull flag only. I was wrong. It's forming the second bull flag right now. There's the what's it called? The range breakout. I want to say above a $1.72, $1.73. It was a lower channel or a downward channel, excuse me, bull flag. But there it is. Coming, it's at day's highs, $1.80 on plug power, up 26.25%. Got this one wrong. That's okay. We'll look to do better next time. VOR as well. Another beautiful higher high, higher low pattern. It's an upward channel here on VOR. There are sellers of note, as you can see, at $3. We topping tail into 302, and then we dip right back down into 292. But the most important part here on VOR is not the topping tail in the failed break of 3. It is the higher lows on the subsequent candles, showing you that the buyers are still in control at that level. So we'll keep an eye out on that. So plug power, VOR, very much in play. CLDI not stopping me out. It's moving back up here into that $0.25 area. Let's see if we can get the prints.
Sorry,
before we go to Derek.
Before we go to, you read my mind, brother. I love that. Okay, Master E, we did not ignore your super chat. We will never do that. If maybe we just don't see it, but we're gonna get to it right now. Exactly. Our apologies, but we're gonna pull it up. We won't ever do that to you, my guy, Master P. It's Master E. Sorry, there. You know who Master P is, obviously, right? All right. There,
and you know he's a good basketball player too.
Don't be drinking that Master P, Sharif.
Oh.
You know what that is?
No,
right?
I have no idea.
Okay. All right. All right. It's the codeine and the promethazine drink that everybody calls it. Master P there. Yeah. All right. There you go. Now you know. Hit the now you know thing. Yeah, we're having fun. Yeah. Now we went there. There we went there. Okay. So Holo, when is it going to break down? So when is this thing going to bust? I mean, how much more of a bust do you need right here, right? Like, I mean, you got a high. Wow. Okay, that is very, very, very interesting. So after all the reverse splits, let's see if we can go find this all-time high. This thing is worth $250,000, even closer to $300,000. So I don't know how much more of a bust you're looking for there, Master P. But I mean, there it is. Are you going to look for that move all the way back down to this low of support? Who knows? They might just do another reverse split. So just be cautious on this one. I don't know how much more it can break down until it heads to 0. I can't tell you too much from a daily perspective. And if we hop in to the 5-minute, there you go. You're starting to sell a little bit here. Maybe you head back towards some of these pre-market lows. Sorry for missing that super chat. Adara, the Neil's lesson of the day, guys.
Before we get into this happening now, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Top One Futures. Are you looking to trade futures like the Nasdaq, SPY, or even Bitcoin? Because Top One Futures is one of the fastest growing prop firms out there, and they give traders the chance to manage up to $1 million in capital. You just have to pick your path. Instant funded, challenge, or pro account, and start trading your way to real payouts and even a live account. In the last 90 days alone, they have paid out over $10 million and earned over 1,000 5-star reviews from real traders. So use that discount code TTV, that is TTV, to save on any account. Just scan that QR code or head to top1futures.com, that is top1futures.com, and start trading towards your next payout. Here's the S&P 500. It is pretty choppy right now. And if you saw this in the morning, we were really strong. We were pushing higher, due in part to a couple Meg 7 names, which we'll get to in a minute. But this market just really unable to maintain that early strength. Right now, we're basing out and we're really choppy. We've been trading more or less in a range for the last hour or so. I do want to mention as well here, Donald Trump with some more tariff announcements. He said we'd get 7 countries getting tariff announcements during the morning.
Tariffing everybody.
We have 6 new tariff announcements there, and I'm working on the infographic for right now, but it's worth noting there are at least a couple here that actually have higher tariffs then we're announced on Liberation Day. So pretty interesting stuff. The infographic will be out post-haste. Also happening post-haste is Donald Trump's meeting with African leaders. He's meeting with 5 different African leaders here for lunch. One of them is the leader of Senegal. There's a couple others as well. It was supposed to be at 12:05. Now they're saying 12:10. Either way, I have that stream set up that it will begin. When it happens, I'll let you guys know. NVIDIA, beautiful little consolidation here. Congratulations to CEO Jensen Huang, because this company is now the largest market cap company ever, the first to reach $4 trillion in market cap and making new all-time highs. Then we have Meta, another name here poised to make new all-time highs. Beautiful uptrend. Mark Zuckerberg and his AI strategy apparently working for investors. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to listen to Neil and his lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil.
I was hearing something coming in there. I'm not sure what that sound effect was going to be. But I want to talk about like the difference in time of day, maybe, for the lesson of the day here, into how you treat individual trades. Because if you watched the morning, you read my note this morning, or even listened yesterday, you were probably, I think even on Monday as well, we would have mentioned this both days, was eagerly waiting for, particularly for Palantir to break away from 140. Break out at the 140 level. I like to start, zoom out in, and I went over, hey, look at the upward trend on Palantir, look how strong that looks, and you get a breakout, you've got room to run into the highs, and we had that big move on Monday, which bull flagged and looked like it was going to take out 140 and be able to fill in this gap, which I think is a pretty sizable, it's a respectable one in here. Like if you give that, and some people would say to there, but usually I'm looking at what did it do? What did it sort of do on that move? There's a lot of room for this kind of thing to rally. And then yesterday, you had it look like, again, V-shape. It's going to do it. Nope, doesn't happen. But why would a trader that's waiting for that not take this initial break? And it comes down to timing and what has happened before. Because, look, and everyone has to trade their own style. Personally, and I think for a lot of the times, context matters in a trade. Like if you just say I like a stock at this price, what happens if news happened before? Like, I like to buy this at whatever price, the support level. Okay, well then something fundamentally changed. Maybe the market is reacting to something completely out of the realm of normal. It could be a Fed day, maybe there's some tariff news, or something along those lines. And that level needs to be reevaluated in that moment. I feel the same way about some of these extreme moves at the open, where it's setting up really well for a clean break at the open. You see what the stock can do. Like that first move off the open, up, down, and around, like Palantir is usually going to give you some serious moves right away at 9:30. Well, when that first move is down, and it V-shapes at $2.50, I mean, like how much? That's 1.5 points. That's 1.5% plus. Back and forth. So buying the top of that kind of an extreme move, to me, is a no-go at 10 o'clock. It's a bit trappish. It rejected 140 before. At this particular time, I tend to think of it in this moment as everyone shorting back into 140, just having their stops run, as opposed to, now the buyers are winning at that price. So my change of action was to say, I'm only taking this as a breakout if the buyers show me winning above 140. And what does that mean? To me, winning above 140 is let me see green closing above this price. So here's 140. I see topping tail wicks. It takes patience for this. I see topping tail wicks and another lower. There's just nothing above the 140 level. When it finally breaks it out here, you can see we have big green candle, it immediately holds a higher low and then retakes the high. I'm like, okay, that's an easy long into here. It didn't even move my stop. It was a quick scalp trade. It actually gave it the exact same setup to you twice, but it required a lot of patience, because if you just take the 140 break blindly when it's not showing you bullish action, well, you're going to find yourself a lot of times in what I call that little bit of a trap trade, because of that big V-shaped move. It's like the idea that context matters is also something, and I'll go to say something like a Robinhood in terms of context mattering and time of day and price and all that good stuff. Let's imagine this, it's a similar thing on Robinhood here. You know, like you can absolutely love certain prices, but you've got to consider what does it look like when it's going back into that price. So here's an example on Robinhood on 15. Maybe just zoom it in a little bit. Like let's say you liked Robinhood this day. Like so it holds a double bottom. There's the level you're working off. It's about $94. You like Robinhood at 94. That's easy. I love that kind of a play. Stair step bottom. I'm looking for probably 94 into here and then maybe higher. So at the pre-market, boom, there's your trade. Well, look, what does it look like when it gets back to that price? Like everyone in the chat, raise your hand. You're not actually raising your hand. Hit the ones if you would love to buy it on that 15-minute looking candle after that rejection. Yeah, sure, you can like the price and you can like the direction, but you can't get married to the notion without some semblance of context in the trade. This is the most extreme example, which I love extreme examples to make simple points. You can like a price, you can like an idea, but especially off that open, you've got to be able to evaluate it in real time. And sometimes that means you just don't even, there's nothing about that that's bullish on Robinhood. You're not even taking it. But what it can also mean is on the way to the breakout on something like a Palantir, let me just go back to the 3 minute because it's a little bit easier. You're not just auto taking that break at 140 when it comes back in because of the manner in which it got there. I just don't like chasing the top of that move. It's one thing when it's consolidation break at the open, your risk to reward is tight, no problem. Like on this breakout, if it did it at the open, you're risking 30 cents on 140 break on Palantir. It's just, I don't know what you're doing with it here because it doesn't even try to bounce till, another 30 cents down from there. It's just a different story. So you have to be a bit more patient. Context matters with everything. It's not just about liking a price and liking a direction. You got to be able to listen to the market, especially if it's screaming something at you. Like it was with Hood. In the case of Palantir, just took a little bit of patience. Ultimately, didn't go any more than $1, but sometimes you take that break, it goes $4. Sometimes you take that break, it gives you $1. The idea is that you're just taking it, right? Like if it goes $4, then it makes your entire day. If it goes that buck, it's just a good trade. But you've got to have some context to the trade action and the trade plan, more so than just liking a random price and a direction, everybody. That's your lesson of the day.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Rob.
that. Always. Neilage, wise words, and sound advice, as always.
Yeah, as always, guys. So yeah, JBRBRB. I think that the goal with the MSTR, and I think it's Saylor's plan as well too, is that not only do you get the appreciation of Bitcoin, but also the stock itself. I think so. That's kind of just in short what Michael Saylor's game plan is and why he's getting people to continuously buy his stock. So that's what we got going on. It's unfortunate that we didn't get that liquidity grab here on NVDA, but we know how yesterday's session was. It was a complete mess for me, full disclosure. I wouldn't say complete mess, but it just wasn't good, right? You're looking for that breakdown, but just look how long we were stuck within this zone from 9:30 right from the open till about noon, right? So and then eventually you get that breakout and you continuously climb higher and eventually touch ATH do.
Love that.
Yeah. Oh, you know we used to. So
you must love that.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know we used to sing that just before you start like a game of beer pong.
No way.
Or a flip cup. Yeah.
Digressing.
Digress.
Favorite hockey commentator of all time? There's only one right answer.
Joe Bowen, obviously.
I don't know. I like Rob Cole.
Rob Cole?
Remember Rob Cole and Harry Neal?
No.
Oh, well,
Joe
okay.
Bowen.
Sorry, I'll just go crawl in my casket.
That's all right.
Because I'm old.
That's all right.
Neil, you remember Rob Cole and Harry Neal? Please tell me somebody remembers that.
But you got to go with Joe Bowen. I think he's obviously the best.
Joe Bowen?
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
Dude, what the?
Well, that's kind of how I felt when you said you didn't know Rob Cole either. Come on,
Bro.
CBC radio. CBC. He was doing all the games.
Wow,
Saturday,
but I mean,
hockey night in
I'm
Canada,
pretty sure
Saturday.
Bowen's been doing this for like 50 years, man.
Okay, we're gonna have to
figure that one out there. Well, I talk a little bit of NVDA.
There, baby.
So yeah, obviously Don Cherry and Ron McLean are up there as well too. But
they're not commentators.
But they're not. Yeah, I mean, but sorry about our guy there, Donnie C.
What's his name?
Joe Bowen.
Joe Bowen. Okay, thank you.
So this is what we got going on here, right? So you can see that we're just just continuously knocking on the door of some of these support levels. I want to see a little bit of a move up through here, and then we can slowly start to curl over again. And I mentioned that the TQs in the overall market SPY and the Qs, wait for them to get to VWAP before we get that rollover. We couldn't even head into that range before we started to test these lows of the days here, guys. So, and there you go. You see the weakness really start to kick in here once again. And I think at this pace, we are going to breach that low of the day. What's Joe Bowen?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Joe Bowen is generally more popular and recognizable than Rob Cole among hockey play-by-play callers, especially in Toronto and the broader Canadian market.
This guy started in '82, man. Come on.
So did this guy, man. This is from the '70s, my guy. And he died, I think, early 2000s. But
it's Joe Bowen's finals. I think next year's his final season. And he's choked up about it. Man, just hearing his voice when the Leafs just continuously disappoint in the playoffs is heartbreaking. It's like I don't even care about the guys anymore. It's just hearing Joe Bowen's voice is just really, really sad. But there it is, guys. We're starting to slowly curl over, test the high of the day. Just be patient on this one before we do crack the low. And I think if we do have the ability to breach this, the next step would be that pre-market low and this pre-market low right here, right around 82. If it's going to be that type of bearish day there, Sharif.
Oh my God! Look at egg, guys. Oh God.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, you guys don't think I can. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not going to feel FOMO about it. I'll just complain. I'm not going to trade it if it has a 50-penny spread on an $8 name, $8.50, $9 name. But there it is, $9.77 high a day, halted at $9.77. What a move up here for egg, man. 62.83% and going. So we'll have to see how this cookie crumbles. Again, I'm not going to trade it if I can't manage risk. Simple as that. We're in a couple of new trades, guys. I've punched into plug power at the highs. I'm looking at adding at $1.75. That's the first one. Second one, I'm in VOR finally. Got bottom wick, at least for now. In between the 10 and the 20, I got 85s on with the beak up to 90, now waiting at 92. And then we'll also post at 95. Let's see what VOR can give us. It's been a good one on the day. It's found support multiple times, I would say, at the 20 exponential moving average on the 5. And this is kind of what I'm seeing on VOR. Case in point, once. Joseph, twice. Obi, thrice. Do we get a fourth over here? Well, we're coming back down. This didn't happen in the prior occasions. Usually we got a touch at the 20, and then we immediately made another 5-minute candle to make a new high. That is not happening this time. So you bet your bottom dollar if this prints a lower high, I'm out. I've taken two prints, so on it so far. I'll go flat on it if I have to. I won't give it back because, well, we're in the midday now, and some of these ones that were running earlier, they start losing some steam. So if that's the case, we need to be on the lookout for that. So VOR, a couple of prints on this one, but by no means are we out in the clear on that. So keep an eye on that. CADL, still holding this one at 98. It's showing me 99, so break-even trade. I'm not going to get out of this one because it's got higher lows. So there's your 90 bounce, and then it's a 95 bounce. Sure, you got lower highs, but that's what a bull pennant is, right? That's a compression pattern. So to be expected for these type of names. So CADL in focus. There's my plug power trade. No prints on this one yet. There's been a seller at 82s and has been for a while now. Even though we've popped up into 83, I punched in at 82s while Neil was dropping hot lines, and this one has not budged above that 82 since that time. So we'll see what plug power wants to do. Punching in at highs obviously comes with inherent risk. I'm looking at defending the top end of the first bull flag here at 75. So if this one does lose the bid, I'm looking at picking up some at 75 pennies. And now if it doesn't make its way all the way down to 75, maybe stops out 76, 77, I could be a buyer there, but that's all predicated upon me seeing it and not being on a different screen. So that's what I'm looking at. We got 3 positions on at the moment. We got VOR, we got CADL, which is not much left in the tank there. And then the newer position, obviously, plug power and VOR. Looking for others. CLDI. Oh, let me mention this trade as well, because we showed the good, we show the bad. So I got in on an anticipation of a VWAP bounce here on CLDI. We went the beak here with a couple of prints into that 20-penny area. And then as you saw, it made lower lows. So breached prior bar low. That's where I got the hell out. And we give back a little bit on that trade, but we took a smaller position on the second entry for my friend CLDI. Joseph.
Yes, let's go here, guys. Sorry, I was watching that fight there, which I probably shouldn't have been watching, but That's all right.
Oh, is that the one that Neil was talking about? Yeah, we got to put that on
watch
after.
that. All right, Beta Pro first. Savvy Canadian traders looking to boost their exposure can now tap into the Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 with Beta Pro 3X daily leverage ETFs featuring built-in FX hedging. This aims to amplify short-term market moves, minimizing the impact of currency swings. Whether you're feeling bullish or bearish, these ETFs are built for active day traders ready to take on the market. Read the full risk disclosure in the prospectus at thebetapro.ca before investing there, guys. So yeah, interesting stuff, man. I just love watching combat sports, man. I don't know, man.
He ain't Joey Hands for no reason.
I just love it.
He ain't Joey Hands for no reason.
I love it. I was just thinking, watching this fight, I'm like, I love it. I don't think there's a better sport on the planet than the UFC. I think it's just the ultimate.
I like boxing.
Yeah,
and I've made that point clear. I'm getting a lot more UFC because of you, and there's stuff to watch.
There's nothing more awesome than watching someone get kneed and kicked in the face and just like, oh my God. Yeah, Ilia Topuria, that guy's a different level.
Let me just cover one thing. So shout out to Scott H. He's asking the theoretical auction price on egg. Where's my egg trade at? So it's showing 977, Scott. This is an Amex stock. So we're not going to get the theoretical auction price on anything other than the Nasdaq. You're not going to get it on the NYSE, at least not on my platform. Here it is. It's open. It opens up, Scott. It looks like at $10. It pops up to 1080. It's 1079. Excuse me. That is the high of the day. It's still a prohibitive spread. 16 pennies now. I just saw it wider. There it goes again. Now this one could be on a breakout. Okay, because now a lot of eyes are on it. It's the #1 gapper right now, up 85% since the bell rung, 78% since 4 a.m. this morning. But I'm not touching it. I just won't. It's hard to manage risk on these ones, and I just won't do it. So enjoy trading EGG. I won't do it if the spread remains the way that it is, and from what I've seen so far, it's going to remain that way. 26 pennies now, 25 pennies spread on EGG, but fantastic breakout. What can I say? So that's my look there. Did you have anything to say? Because I kind of cut you off.
No. Okay. I was just talking about fights, essentially, man. There's not much going on. We're just being patient, and I think that's just something I'm really trying to hone back in on here and just be more precise. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not in and out of positions, but our objective is to make money here, right? So again, it's all fun and games, but for my style personally, it just works better if I'm more accurate and more precise on my game plans, plan the trade and trade the plan. So that's what I got going on. I'm waiting for this to just get that liquidity grab through this resistance zone, and you can see the volume really picked in, and that's a big time engulfing candle right here, but you just head right back into the middle of the range, and I used yesterday's session as an example, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, at VM Tiger, yeah, exactly. I think Dustin wins that, to be honest with you. It's going to be a really good fight, but yeah, so that's what we got going on. What I was going to do before this is go over the top performing sectors on the day. Why are you doing that? Why is it acting like it's a brick wall? All right, there we go. So yeah, let's see what we got going on here, guys. Utilities at the top of its class today, up about 4/10, closer to 0.5%. Industrials are sitting in that second place. We're up about 4/5 there, or 4/10, I guess I should say. Consumer discretionary, we're closer to 3/10 as well. So, I mean, those are the top three performing sectors. The bottom three, we got XLV, the healthcare sector, down about 2/10, just closer to 1.16, I should say. Energy, 0.5%, and then consumer staples really weak on the day, closer to 1%, 9/10 there, Sharif. So that's what we got going on for the top performing sectors. If you're looking for strength and weakness, then that's what you want to go and look for within some of these names. You can see the tech sector holding on by a thread, financials slightly red, materials just touching on the brink of red as well too, guys. So I'm focusing on the tech sector here today, and I'm looking for this short. If it comes into that level that I want, I think it's going to be a banger of a trade, and who knows that if you can run into that 162 level, that's going to be the primary target for that specific setup. The Qs are kind of just stuck in limbo again. You can see that we've been trading within this range for the past 2 hours or so, and then now heading back towards the lower end. What you want to look for is the VWAP rejection, but we didn't even get there. So be more patient as we consistently form these higher lows. Maybe you get that move up into that specific level there, Sharif. So that's all I'm looking for, guys. I'm going to be sitting on my hands quite a bit until this trade either comes into fruition or it doesn't, and I'm cool with either one.
All right, egg is I don't know, man. It's
bro, no way.
Yeah, man. I don't care, bro. Dude, it moves. It moves
Wow.
50 pennies at a time. So egg is on a rampage right now.
The spread is crazy. Yeah, the spread is 50 cents.
It's wild. Like,
Yeah,
see,
that is
it
wild,
tightens up and then it opens up, it tightens up. It's quite volatile. Another high day there, 1168. It's showing me 68s right now as we speak on the level 2. So it's a matter of time, man. I feel bad for that guy trying to short at 68. You're gonna get blown out, bro. You're gonna get blown out, man. Run for your life. Where's Big Spile today, man? You called me out on that Tesla short call that I did the other day. Egg is cracking, says Diggity Jacobs. It's cracking to the high side, man. It ain't moving down. That's for dang sure. So EGG on the way up here. Be on alert. So I just got stopped out right now of my VOR position. Where's that at? So we take a couple of prints here on VOR, then we go break even on the remaining amount. I was not going to let this one go against me. I'll go back in at 275 because that's where the volume weighted average price is, assassino. All right, we got another behind the scenes look at Trade the Pool, but this time we're diving into the community side of Trade the Pool. As you know, each trader gets his or own hub, and inside that hub, you'll find something called Trade Talk. It's a powerful charting and analysis space where traders map out strategies, they break down their setups, and they share their predictions with the overall community. And if you're looking for a real-time interactive kind of a setting, the Trade the Pool Discord is where you want to be. It's full of active traders sharing their insights, trades, tips on how to grow together. At Trade the Pool, you're not trading alone, guys. You're joining a firm that invests in your growth, both technically, mentally, and financially. So head on over to tradethepool.com or scan that QR code on the screen. And I want to just bring you in for a second to kind of build on this whole Discord thing. When you started trading, where you were part of a Discord community, and that's where you met the Greg V, and like the whole other, and so that definitely helped.
It helped large. Well, I met them in a trading community, and then we kind of just branched off. Obviously, we're still part of that one, but then we just formed our own little bubble, which I think is key, right? So yeah, just so you can just talk more ideas on the side, and etc. But yeah, I love Discord groups. Obi and we share one together. So yeah, a lot going on. Just like when you have a group of just really successful traders, it's the room that you want to be in, right? So yeah.
I'm really rich.
Really,
there you go. Donald agreed.
Hold on, let me hit this one here.
Did you see what he did this morning?
No.
Anybody but too late.
Yeah.
He can't stand him.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He can't stand him. What happened, Adara?
I was just going to say with regards to the anybody but too late, I told Sharif this off camera. I'm working right now on a very massive, I thought it was going to be one post, it'll have to be a series on the history between Trump and Powell going all the way back to Trump's first administration. So that would be 2017. He has been anti-Powell for way longer than we thought. He even said back in, I think, 2019 that he would have preferred the then outgoing ECB president Draghi to actually replace Powell. He thought he would have been a better leader. He called Powell's policies insane. That's like already 6 years ago. So this has been going on for a lot longer than we think.
But I want to say something. He's lamented a lot of his Trump 1.0 appointments. Powell was not one of the only ones. Adara, he rolled through a lot more heads.
That's
what happened?
true.
Sorry, Sharif. GameStop. Yeah. Sorry, guys. GameStop.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what are you laughing at, Joe?
This thing, I don't know. I don't get
ask
it.
questions,
I don't get it. Yeah,
Don't
I'm not asking any questions. I don't know if I can say that on the thing, but we act first and then questions later. You know what I mean? So, so in this case, you don't want to shoot first and then ask questions later because you don't get anywhere with that one. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know what's going on here with GameStop. This thing is just absolutely just gone parabolic here. 2270 to a high of about 2360. So it moves a point in about 10 minutes. So that's a big time breakout, and the volume supporting it as well too there. So about 450,000 shares in this 5-minute candle right now. So very intriguing stuff, as you can see, but we're starting to come back in. But that is a big breakout in GameStop. We'll hop back into the technicals. Are we going to head in towards this this gap fill here potentially? I don't know, maybe, possibly. But I can tell you one thing for free, Sharif.
What?
Your boy won't be buying GameStop whatsoever.
Why can't you trade it intraday, though? That's what happened.
No.
All I want to know.
You know why? I'm going to give you an honest answer, as I usually do.
Man.
It's just because I know the cult-type price action behind this thing. I know it's a meme-crazed name. And if I were to lose, I would just be cursing the trading gods. Like, why am I, why? Like, just why? You know what I mean?
It's an intraday trade.
It's an intraday trade, but that's why I'm not trading. We going to Adara now?
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know I looked into GameStop, and as per usual with this stock, there doesn't seem to be any news. Now, of course, that can change. I'm keeping an eye on the situation, but tons of social media attention on this. But basically, about like right as we got this pop, we had someone posting here in X. Apparently, there's an increased activity here after large dark pool buying. Looks like they're looking at some type of chain. They do have a screenshot to support this. So either way, it seems like some, I guess, technical, and as always with GameStop, lots of trader excitement happening with this ticker, GME. I also want to give you guys an update on Trump's lunch here with these West African leaders. It has not started yet. We've had the stream up right now. It's just showing the White House. The second, I have the audio on, I have the stream on. The second that starts, I will absolutely let you guys know. Back to you.
Always gonna
like, you know what I mean? It goes from barcoding to just this massive volume spike. Sorry, guys, I'm talking about AMC. So there it is, right? I don't know. There's not much I can really say about this stuff. Barcode type price action right here, no volume, and then boom, you get that move to the top side. So I will not be getting involved in AMC, Sharif. I don't know about yourself. I don't know how you
look. I'm not going to get involved in AMC, but if it's GME starts breaking out over here and starts showing me some good technicals, well, we'll get involved. But right now, we got a topping tail, Joseph, into 2360. We're right back down into 2320. So this is not calling my name quite yet. Yeah, I'll keep it. I'm not going to even keep it on the side chart, but I'll keep an eye on the chat. If you guys start yelling about this one breaking out, we'll give this one the old community college try, and we'll see what it does. But it's only up 1.67% on the day. Sure, it's above that 23. But I got to tell you, when we lost that $30 level that we had been hovering at essentially for months on GameStop after the offering, that's when I really stopped looking at it, because we always had that kind of higher high, higher low into that 30-ish area. That's no longer the case. So we'll see how GameStop does today, but for the moment, involved in these trades. Let's go ahead and cover them. I'm back into VOR. Now, we're not going to give this not much room. I'm in at 77s. It's going to have to hold up above 73s. This is a VWAP trade here on VOR. So if it doesn't hold up here, that's going to be the end of the trade or the end of my involvement with VOR on the day. It's got to hold where it got stopped out. So that's the end of the trade for me on VOR, and it likely will lose its spot on the side chart. Am I actually negative on this? Yes, I am. Negative on VOR. That's okay. We'll look to do a little bit better. The other trade that we've got on right now, CADL, right back above 6, very respectful of the 10 exponential moving average. The next beak wetter for me is at 612, showing me 07s, we're long 98, so not really a big winning position. But this is starting to get a little sus over here on PLUG. There has been a monster seller at 182 for essentially the entire time that I've been in, and we have these are not accurate wicks. These are not into 86. These are dark pool wicks. The high of the day is 83, and it happened very momentarily. The real level is 82 on PLUG, and we've been hanging out here at 82s for a while now. There is size posted on the level 2, but I'll submit to you it's likely a hidden order, because as you can see there, all the shares churning and nothing coming off ARB or ARCX, maintaining that 699 look there. So I'm looking for a possible flat top break on PLUG. I'm disappointed, though, with the execution, because I put in a dip trade at 78 to add a little bit more, and it came down into 78, but it didn't cross. So we didn't get the fill. So that's a little annoying when that happens, but that's on me. I should have been cognizant of that and then moving up my order at least maybe to a gateway that allows mid prints, which I didn't do. Or if I didn't want to do the gateway that allows mid prints, I should have been going up another penny. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. CLDI rebounding, says Erdogan. Erdogan. Are you let me guess. You're from Turkey. Let me guess. Am I right? Engine? How do I say your name, by the way? Because I don't want to mispronounce your name. Is it Engin or Engin? Tag me, my man, so that I don't mispronounce your name again. But shout out to you. I like Erdogan. He's a character. All right, so VOR just absolutely lost the bid. So I'm very happy with the stop out there, because look at it bleed, continue to bleed after the loss of the volume weighted average price. But let's go back to CLDI over here, because I think he has a point. Where did we have our CLDI trade? I think it was over here. Yes, there it is. So we have a bottoming tail candle through $1, but you know what, my man? We're still putting in lower highs. So the trend still hasn't changed. We did have a bottoming tail candle into that 95, and now we're a little bit higher, but the lower highs and the lower lows still intact. So I don't see this one as an entry for me quite yet. Now, if it's followed by higher highs and higher lows, we can have another discussion. But at the moment, we're still putting in that downtrend. So I'm going to steer clear of this one. I also want to mention right now, guys, egg. It's going to halt to the downside over here right at $12. EGG 1388 high of the day. It is now halted at $12. We will not get a theoretical auction price on EGG because it trades on the MX network. So we're seeing the top exactly where it stopped, which is $12. This one is up to the second decimal point, Joseph. 100% on the dot. You don't often see that. It is literally 100% on my platform and my other platform on the side over here, halted right at $12. The halt time, 12:33:18. So add 5 minutes to that, and that could be when this one opens up. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. Okay, it's a second pronunciation. Engin, not engine, Engin Erdogan. You know about Erdogan?
No.
Yeah, he's the president of Turkey.
Oh, I know Aragon, no?
What? I don't even know why we're laughing, but it's funny.
You don't know who Aragon is. It's all right.
No, man.
It's
he's the president of Turkey. What are you laughing at? He's been there for a hot minute, too.
Yeah, I was talking.
Say that again, Neil?
I was talking Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings? Bro, I told you. I've never watched Star Wars. I've never watched Harry Potter. I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I don't care for that kind of stuff, bro. If it ain't Rocky, if it ain't, you know, I need these action movies, baby. It's not my thing there, you know? All these like make-believe things. It's not for me.
No, yo, you don't like that stuff?
No, bro.
All right. Don't tell that to Neil. Don't let Neil know that one there.
Neil's not happy with me right now, but it's okay. I mean, like, it is what it is, bro.
Oh, man. Good time.
All right, let me just cover this one. We have a new small cap gapper, or do we? What is this piece of garbage? Let's look at this over here. You guys are yelling about ANPA. Shout out to Urban Trader. My man, this thing's done 832,000 shares on the day. Why the hell is this thing up like this? I'm having a look. I'm not seeing any reason why ANPA is up that. Where is it? ANPA, load it up. Oh, is this a second day IPO? Is Adara at the big desk? ANPA Adara. It looks like it's day 2 here. Looks like it opened up yesterday, had very little price action. Today it's bouncing up from a 350 low, halted to the high side at $6.60. It's up 87.5%. We'll get more information on that from Adara in a second. But yeah, I had no idea about this one. We're going to keep it up there. And once it opens, we'll start talking about this one. When did it halt over here? The halt came in at 12:23.
IPO yesterday.
IPO'd yesterday, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense because that was the first entry that I had there on the chart. So ANPA, guys, an IPO halted at $6.60, but it's like almost done no volume. Okay, well, it's not that bad, actually. Say that again, Adara? Okay, let's weasel on over to Adara.
This is super light volume. It's only traded like 800,000 shares today. But this is Rich Sparkle Holdings, and I'm not joking about the name of this company. Rich Sparkle Holdings, trading as ANPA. They did open yesterday. This was an IPO. It was a very small IPO, $5 million IPO. They released here 1.25 million shares, pricing at $4 per share. They opened, it looks like here, around $3.50, so opened below their price. Today, though, nice push to the upside again. You have to be really cognizant of the volume because it is very, very light. Back to you.
Kilba? No, I didn't see anything.
No, Saya.
Yeah, top VOIP. We covered a GME, brother. We did.
Yeah.
We saw the 2360 pop. We're going to keep an eye on it. We don't have news on it at the moment, but yeah, definitely keeping an eye on GME and AMC. We're aware. Thank you for reminding us, though. But yeah, we got that. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, so someone mentioned Tilray as well, too, in the chat here, guys. I mean, yeah. The weed stocks seem to be on the move. Someone said 100 million shares possibly here on TLRY. GC, is that Canopy Great Canadian Gaming? No, that's not Canopy Growth Corp. It's CGC is what I'm looking for. Sorry, 1 second, Andy. 1 second there, Adara. If I can get my act together, then maybe we can CGC. There we go, Canopy Growth Corp, not doing anything there, so those weed stocks ain't doing too much. Man, that thing was $60 at one time. Adara, what do you got for us?
I have some news here. Coursera moving higher, C-O-U-R. Basically, New York Times reporting that Microsoft is pledging $4 billion towards AI education. Coursera, in case you guys didn't know, they do online courses and education, so clearly a beneficiary here. New York Times, again, reporting Microsoft is pledging $4 billion towards AI education, C-O-U-R. Back to you.
Yeah, so what I'm looking at there, guys, so we looked at Tilray and some Canopy Growth Corp. Those we named. Tilray is moving, but that Canadian company isn't. But here we go. You can see the exact same wedge is starting to form here, right? We had that drawn out from yesterday, so the price is really starting to compress here on NVDA. Now, let's see if that buy program steps in. I'm talking about, I had orders posted up here. It flushed down. I'm like, all right, let me just eliminate that just in case we do decide to squeeze. But now we've breached this downtrend. I'm going to keep an eye out for an open below that. But what if so I'm just thinking, telling you guys what I'm thinking essentially, but if we break through this, that's when you're gonna be looking for that indecision and that move lower, all right? And that's gonna drastically increase our risk to reward, especially if it breaks out on volume. Yesterday's session, we can see that the volume really kicked in as it punched through, and then essentially it came back and retested, but then just got bought right back up here. But the volume really did pick up on this breakout here, and I'm gonna wait for the exact same thing. It's either it's gonna break out or it's gonna fail. So I'm looking for the fail or the liquidity grab and fail. Yeah.
Agents are calling themselves now property matchmakers.
Yeah, I've seen that
Joseph.
one. Yeah,
They're not a realtor.
Yeah.
They're not real estate agents.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
Is that a Toronto? She's from a Torontonian. All right, then.
Can it be any different?
All right, then here we go, matchmaking.
Ram, have you ever considered property matchmaking as a profession? With hearts to kind of throw innuendos to love matchmaking.
Gross.
Yeah.
You don't. Why? You got to make a match with your property, you know?
What's her name? Selena.
Yeah, I know. And it's not my Selena.
I was about to say, like, what the hell? It just came out of nowhere there. I was like, what's happening? All right, guys. Why is egg stuck? It's not stuck, guys. It's halted. The egged one. I don't know. I guess it got cracked to the downside over here, guys. But 12:33, this will likely be a 10-minute halt, as we've spoken about many times. They come in waves of 5, these halts. Volatility halts, that is, not news pending halts. Different breed. 12:33.18 exactly is the halt level. Let me check the atomic clock. On my side chart over here, we are 12:40.31. So look for a 12:43.18 opening at the earliest. If that doesn't open, you add 5 minutes on top of that as well. So that's my look right now. I'm not going to touch egg. The spread is prohibitive. It's also trading on the MX network, which I'm not dogging the MX network, but you know there's bamboozlement on that exchange at times. It's not like the NQ and the NYSE. Be careful, okay, with this one. If not for the exchange, just for the spread. We've seen it 50, 60 pennies at times. Right now, obviously, because it's halted, it's showing 8 pennies, but we'll see how this one does there. So keeping an eye on that. I'm still only involved in plug power, break even, and CADL. Couple of pennies in the money. There is not much left on CADL. We took most up there at the high of the day. Looking for the next trade, and I got to tell you, I don't see anything that I like at the moment. So I was talking to Scott H. and our other Turkish friend there, I forget his name, sorry, about CLDI. And I was telling him I want to print above 20. So what I see here is a hold up at the volume weighted average price, a defend of $1, but we come into that 10 and 20 exponential moving average and we don't clear. So I'm not going to be lured into this one. Show me a print above 20 on a closing basis. We'll get involved for a possible move back up. So that's what I'm looking at there. Not much else to talk about, but I see we're getting super chats.
Yep.
Oh, baby. First, thank you again, Eddie, for the $5 super chat. We covered egg there.
That's 50. That's 50 smackers, brother.
That's That's
for
5,
coffee.
my guy. Yeah, the next one. Oh, there's another one. He put 2 back to back. $50.
You are fake news.
That's absolutely not. Now we're absolutely rich. Thank you, Eddie, very much for that $50 super chat. Coffee on me. We appreciate you very much there. I don't know what to say back to that. You
for the coffee?
Yeah.
That's a Starbucks run there. Maybe I can get one of those dragon fruit drinks. Maybe.
Let's digress a little for a second.
Have
you ever? You're half Jamaican. We all know that. Have you ever had this coffee called Blue Jamaican Mountain or some blue? Say again, Neil.
No, Saya.
Blue Mountain. Is it called Blue Mountain or Mountain Blue or something? Because I didn't think that it was the same as the hill, my man. That's why. So have you ever had this coffee?
No, I've never had that.
So my aunt lives up in Keswick, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my aunt lives up in Keswick. They have a store there that serves it. Joseph.
Yeah, you like it?
A medium coffee.
Yeah.
How much that run me?
Jamaican or Canadian?
No, this is the Blue Mountain thing that I was telling you about.
$8.
$16.
Bro, I would have been like, no, thank you. You can.
Well,
keep
I didn't
that.
pay for it. My cousin got it for me. She wanted to treat me to it, but like I was like, what the hell is this? What kind of coffee is
I get
this?
I haven't had one of those sugar. I had one of those dragon fruit drinks before. Selena got me one of them, and yeah, it's like 90% ice, and it's like $10. I'm like, what kind of?
Ask for less ice. You can just literally ask them for less ice.
Joe.
100%.
Tell them,
and you get
Adira.
less ice.
Adira, have you had this Blue Mountain thing that I'm talking about?
No, but I was just thinking about it. I'm very curious.
Very
right
expensive.
Now.
Apparently, they only grow in Jamaica on the top of the mountain. It may or may not be blue, Adira.
I mean, is the mountain blue or is the coffee blue? That's what I want to know.
Oh, the beans are brown, woman.
No, I'm joking. Either way, I don't know. I'm not a huge coffee.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Just ask for less ice. Thank you for solving that one there. But I don't get that too often.
Everybody knows about there. Everybody's chiming in the chat.
Yeah, Blue Mountain
People
Coffee.
know.
My ex is Jamaican. Awesome coffee. All right, Nimrod. Thank you for that one there. Joe only drinks Red Stripe. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Someone says it's stronger than something. Yeah. But I'm not good. My body is not good with coffee. I drink coffee, and I get like the shakes. I get the coffee crash and everything.
Shit there. I was like, oh, okay.
No, coffee.
Well,
yeah, my body just
caffeine.
can't. Yeah. I'm not good with that.
Tends to do that, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm not good with it. And then like I can't think straight, and it's weird. It reacts weird in my body.
It was fantastic coffee. I gotta tell you the truth. It tasted great. But you're gonna ask me, I'm dropping $16 on that all day. I'd rather pull out my fingernails. You know what I mean? Like, no, absolutely not.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I might be spending.
I exaggerate for effect. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dropping that much on coffee. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it is really insane, guys. That's a tough question, VM. I'm gonna think about that one for a little bit before I get back to you guys. I've seen that, but here we go, guys. It's gonna be the same narrative for me here. Looking for this to come into play. This wedge is continuously forming. We now open up on the south side of this. Let me adjust it so it's slightly more accurate. But right now, let's see if we break through that. I just really want something a little bit north of this resistance zone, and then maybe we can get that short to come into play. But it's really, really choppy, guys. I mean, we entered this phase in around 10:55, so that's a couple hours ago, and then we're just still moving eastward on this one. So yeah, that's what I got going on. So there it is. The Qs are getting back towards the volume-weighted average price, just due to how long it's taking and how the volume profile is really starting to cool off there, Sharif.
Yes,
looking
sir.
for any indecision right around the volume-weighted average price on that one, and then maybe you can look for that continuation and the test towards the low of the day on that. So that's my two game plans. These are the names that I'm looking for. I haven't even looked at Bitcoin throughout the session. Has it started to recover? I know it's slightly disappointing for me. Okay, so off of those lows, heading right back into opening price, roughly, no, not quite. So 62.29 is OP, but there you can see that we get a nice bounce off of that lows, bouncing off of some of these post and pre-market levels, and then sure enough, you get that move. Now you're north of the volume-weighted average price. If you get a continuation, maybe it's a retest and then a bounce off of that. But other than that, I got my eyes fixated on NVDA and a potential continuation to the downside to see if that comes into play. But Adira, what do you got for us?
Update, we're still waiting here on Trump's meeting with these leaders from Africa to start. He's now almost an hour late. But at 1 p.m., this is the thing I really want to remind you guys of, 1 p.m. we have the 10-year note auction coming through. Let's see what that bears. That's going to be, again, 15 minutes-ish. Oftentimes, we'll get the number a couple minutes after the auction takes place. Either way, I will give all of that coverage for you guys. And once Trump and his dinner starts, or sorry, his lunch, so at this point it feels like dinner, once the lunch starts, I will let you guys know promptly. Right now, it looks like he's too late. Back to you.
Ooh, wow.
Don't be rude.
You upset Donald, Adira. Yeah, I guess.
Seems that he is too late. It's crazy.
Yeah, well,
Too
I'd
late.
rather be too late for a meeting than too late for cuts.
Oh yeah.
No, seriously. I was talking to Brendo about this. I asked Adira this. I want to put this question to you as well.
Yeah.
We know Jerome is gone next May. That's the end of his tenure. It's not going to be renewed. When we get the announcement about who the replacement is going to be, does the market price in what they think that individual's actions will be in the future? And so do we already get the discount that market predicts that this person will engage in, whether it's cuts, holding. You got to assume it's cuts. He's not going to put in anybody who's going to hold rates. That just doesn't make sense. So does the market pricing rate cuts ahead of time? That's my question.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the market being forward-looking, I don't know. I know you guys were talking about Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent possibly becoming the new Fed chair. I think he would obviously play a little bit to Donald's ear there, or his voice, and ask for those cuts and maybe fall into that. But that would be a bad look for the Fed, I think, falling into a political entity.
I don't think Donald cares about that.
No, Donald does not care. He wants the cuts. But yeah, I think the market will price it in.
Adara, who are the main candidates right now being discussed as replacements?
Okay, so number one and number two, without a doubt, Kevin Warsh and Scott Bessent, who is, of course, current U.S. Treasury Secretary. You might be like, who's who's Kevin Warsh? I did do a whole infographic on all these guys. You can find it on X at TTV Research. Kevin Warsh was actually a Fed board governor, and he has quite the pedigree because he was on during the financial crisis in 2008. So he's got the juice. He actually stepped down from the Fed, but either way, you know, he's written quite a few articles critical of the Fed recently.
Okay.
And Trump has also said, like, early as 2020 that he wishes he had appointed Warsh. So that seems to be like number one and number two, him and Bessent. Then lower, like more kind of long shot candidates, we have our friend Christopher Waller, who is, of course, the first current Fed governor to say that the Fed should maybe cut rates in July.
Right.
And then last but not least, we do have Kevin Hassett. He seems to be the lowest, like, probability here. He hasn't even commented on the rumors. But either way, right now, I would say 1, 2, 3, Warsh, Bessent, and Waller. Another like long shot would maybe be Bowman, because that's another Fed who's spoken about possible July rate cuts. But he literally just appointed Bowman to be the vice chair.
And both of those have been kind of making the rounds on television, whatever, advocating for rate cuts.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
But like I said, because Bowman is now the vice chair of supervision, the chance of her being Fed chair is pretty small.
Yeah, you were mentioning that to me. Thank you.
For me personally, I don't know. Just from I obviously don't have that much experience. I got to officially experience what a rate hike cycle was, and also a cutting cycle. Sure. For me, the cut, I would just be worried about reigniting inflation, and then also you don't want someone who's going to be too late and then allow it to get to 4 or 5% before they make a cut. So what is the point of essentially cutting if you have the chances of reigniting and then you just have to raise rates again?
That's what he's been saying.
Right?
I mean, that's what Jerome's been saying.
Right?
I mean,
so it's just like,
fair to him, yeah.
Like the Fed has that mandate, right? It's maximum employment, 2% price stability, right? So the Fed will always aim for that 2%. I think the closer you are, the less likely that you are going to cut those rates until maybe you get even south of that.
Fair. I respect that opinion. Absolutely. My name is Jeff. No way, that's that. My name Jeff. This cabinet is comically incompetent. Hey man, I respect your opinion, Jeff. I love your name. We'll have to see, I guess, after 4 years what the situation is. Are we better economically? Are we not? Yeah, it's definitely an interesting time. I want to talk about a couple of things here, guys. Shout out to the OG Bovin in the chat calling out micro, algo. Nice little bump up there on MLGO. Do I see anything here on MLGO? I don't see anything. It's a 75 penny high. It's down into 73. I mean, it's trying to hold. It's well above the 10, well above VWAP here. MLGO is the ticker I'm talking about. A former convict. It's been locked up. We'll see how this one does after 75 penny high. Adara.
Trump promised us 7 tariff announcements this morning, and he gave us 6 in the morning. Now we get our 7th of the day. It's Sri Lanka with a 30% tariff. So again, Donald Trump now announcing 30% tariffs on goods from Sri Lanka. He just posted the letter on Truth Social a couple of minutes ago. Again, we still don't have his West African lunch yet, but the stream is live. But right now, again, 30% tariff on goods from Sri Lanka. That was, I guess that's probably the last letter of the morning, but he did indicate there'll be more letters later today as well. So stay tuned. It sounds like Trump can drop a tariff letter literally at any point. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Scott Bessent there. I mean, he got Donald to kind of prolong the initial tariff twice. I think he's done it twice from the April.
He's being credited.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they talk about all the deals that need to be to over 200 countries, whatever it may be. He needs more time to get these deals done. And I don't know if 3 weeks is going to be long enough before they start slapping these tariffs.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. I mean,
but I mean, it's better than right now, right? So
absolutely. Let's cover a couple of things here, guys. Okay, so I think I'm going to take off VOR. We're going to put on MLGO. So micro algo is headed to the upside. It's right back into the high of the day. MLGO, right back into 75 pennies. It's not up that big yet, 22%, still south of that dollar, but this one could absolutely squeeze into that dollar area, and there it goes into the high of the day. Let's give this one the old college try. We'll like to take some profits up here, and then we'll also set up a little bit up here. So we'll see if Micro Algo's got the juice. We already got one little print there. Let's keep watching this one. This one could squeeze into 80 pennies. Let's go ahead and set up at 77s as well. So we'll set up there, and there's the print, Adara.
You guys know Donald Trump's meeting here with these West African leaders has just begun. The stream just began. I'm going to be following for you guys. If there's anything market related, I'll let you know. And again, in about 7 minutes, we get the 10-year note auction. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. All right, so keep your eye out on Micro Algo. Good strength here, but you know, this one kid absolutely flipped the switch on you in a second. Don't fall in love with the trade. Make sure you are taking sound risk management strategies with every trade that you take. All right, you can't fall in love with these names. You know how they work, right? They'll flip the switch on you super freaking quick. These are not large caps. These are not Apple and, well, no, Apple's not the best example. These are not NVIDIAs and etc. So here we are right back into that area, 74 pennies. Let's see if we can hold up above prior bar low. Prior bar low is around 72 and change. So it's selling off here. Let's see if we can continue to sell off. If we lose 72 pennies, that's where the trade ends. So let's see, right back up into 75 pennies. So the bamboozlement here is fast and furious. It's a candle of indecision right now with the midpoint being 75 pennies, Joseph.
Good luck there, guys. All right, invest in every sector you love, all in one stock. 3D Capital, CSE, IDK, US IDKFF. It's a risk-diverse basket of 60-plus vetted investments. Get founder-level exposure, the kind most investors can't access. In some of the hottest sectors, blockchain, AI, IoT, biotech, and natural resources. Led by a CEO whose last venture returned 150x. 3D is currently trading at a discount to its asset per value share, and they're actively buying back and deleting shares. The world's highest returning investments usually come from founder-level access. Think of 3D as your ETF for early-stage disruptive innovation. 3D, look at that view of the city there. Really good look there, guys. Yeah, oh, sorry, we got another super chat that we missed out on there. Easy Media says, Joe, Ray, and Nephew, White Rum, if you know, you know, brother. Of course I know about that one. I do not partake in drinking that because things get really, really messy when we hit the Ray and Nephew. But yeah, anyways, what we got going on, thank you for that $5 super chat, Easy Media, as always, bang,
Get it,
bang.
Easy Media.
Guys, we're just stuck in this consolidation right now. Bitcoin putting in the inverted candle right now here, and you can see possibly heading towards the low of the day. So that's a solid print that maybe you can base a trade off of. Some nice engulfing prints, volume signatures right here, and then sure enough, you get that indecision right into some key levels that we had marked out. So boom, you're getting that flush down. Maybe you get that move into VWAP there. What are the Qs up to? Okay, so we're right at VWAP. We're exactly where we want it. Let's see if we can get a little bit north of that and maybe try and go and test some of these levels here. 8503, that's pretty hefty, but you would want to look for that next base, maybe around 8470 roughly. But even if you can't get north of that, that's where you want to see some indecision anywhere south of VWAP or slightly above it, and then maybe you can get that slow curl over and head back towards some of this range. That would be one of my primary targets, but you can see that after we had that initial selling, we pulled back, but we had the inability to construct a new low, so now we're starting to climb back in towards VWAP. So that's the game plan. We are rejecting right now, but I think you have to be a little bit more patient just in case NVDA does decide that it wants to break out. I think price can only compress for so long before it decides to pick a direction, and that's what we're going to wait for. So I'm just stalking like a tiger, waiting for that prey to come to me and then looking to take advantage of it when it comes.
All right, MLGO stopped out of the remaining amount there. There was a seller at 77 of note, so I got out of there. This one, we took a print at 77, it's a high of the day, 77.86. But last time we were up there, that 77 seller couldn't be shaken. So we'll take a couple of prints to the high side and we'll stop out for the remaining amount on the downside. I'm going to get to egg in a second because it looks like we're going to be a 20-minute halt here on EGG. But first, VinFast just locked in a major $510 million funding deal led by Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Seatown, all a part of that Singapore sovereign wealth fund, Temasek. This fresh capital is set to boost their EV production and speed up global expansion with big bank big banks backing them, I should say, it's a strong sign of confidence in VinFast's long-term game, especially, guys, in a market where capital is getting harder and harder to secure. Keep an eye on VFS, as Joseph and I always say. See him more and more on the roads these days, especially in Toronto. Mostly the VF8. I happen to like the VF9, a little bit more expensive for those bad boys there, but we will... yeah, we'll continue to report on it, guys. So here's the deal, guys. EGG, let's look at this. Let's see if anything has come in from the exchange to let us know exactly what's happening. Okay, we're paused due to volatility. Is this now paused waiting for more info? No, I'm not. I'm still seeing paused due to volatility. So this one did halt at 12:33.18. I'm seeing 12:58. So it's going to continue to be in increments of 5 minutes, that is. We're not going to get the theoretical auction price on the Amex network. That's only on the Nasdaq. So we're going to fly blind here right now on EGG. But as a general rule, and this is not a hard and fast rule, but as a general rule, the longer this remains halted, the more people will start panicking and want to get the hell out of there. So even though we can't see the imbalances right now, which is the tap, you know, chances are there may be more sell orders coming into the exchange and buy orders. And so this one could open aggressively down. I've seen it before. That's not a hard and fast rule, though. As I mentioned, each one is a little different. So EGG, the longer it stays closed like this, I don't think it's to its benefit. But there it is, up 100% on the dot and halted at $12 on the dot. Egg. All right, so we'll keep tabs on that. What are the positions we have currently right now? Plug Power finally got the DCA into that. It's showing 78s. I'm still waiting for a 75 print to basically defend the area top. So I perceive 74, 75 to have been the area top. We move up all the way into 83. We reject that 83 area. In fact, I got to tell you the truth. Most of, if not all, the selling was coming in at 82. Forget about 83. Whoever was selling there at 82 was very motivated because essentially from 12:05 till 12:45, there was not anything printed above 82. And there was a lot of shares churned, guys. 176 million shares have exchanged hands, a great portion of which happened right here. But right back up we go into 80s after that ad at 78. So we'll see how this cookie crumbles. Plug Power, you know, it's a former convict, not one that I've traded well intraday, not one that I traded well on a swing. It's mostly been a loser for me, but hopefully we'll try and change that this time around. The other one that I'm involved in, CADL, this one continues to put in higher highs and higher lows with the ultimate high of the day, 612, still unbreached. So I'm looking for a possible break here because we're getting a flat top break or an ascending wedge, so to speak. Right now on CADL. I perceive this to be a bull flag with the kind of the flag component of the bull flag having higher lows. To me, that seems more bullish than one having lower lows and lower highs, but we'll have to see how that ends up working. I'm not liking anything that I'm seeing right now other than the positions that I'm in, but I am seeing ANPA is halted to the upside yet again. This is the IPO from yesterday. ANPA is the ticker. Let's load this one up. So yeah, this one's having liquidity issues. It's only done about 1.1 million shares because it's been halted umpteen amount of times. Every time you see one of these dashes there beside a candle, that is, each dash represents a 5-minute halt. So we've already been halted. We're on our 4th halt now. All of them have been up halts. None have been down halts as of yet. This, again, IPO'd yesterday. I don't think it was really well received because the price action was kind of muted, as you can see here with a high there of around 375 and a low of 321. Barely did anything. That's pale in comparison to the price action today. It's got a 350 low and a 1038 high on ANPA, up 194%. Again, halted 1038 to the high side. We should probably load this bad boy up here and take off one of these ones that is kind of breaking down. Who are we going to take off here? We can't take off egg because we got to keep an eye on that. VOR, we're going to take off that one. ANPA is the ticker. It's on the Nasdaq. Fantastic. So we'll be able to see the tap on this one, the theoretical auction price. So as I mentioned, 1038 high. That's where it's halted right now. But look at the tap. Can you guys? Yeah, you can see it. $10.70 That's where we're slated to open. This one did halt at 101.04. It is 102. 102.39. So add 5 minutes on to 101.04. So it'll open up 106.04 at the earliest. So keep your eye on ANPA. It's going to replace somebody over here on this side chart. We're going to take off VOR, ANPA. There it is. So throw that bad boy on there. We're going to Adara. She's got news.
Keep an eye here on UBER. This one apparently self-driving robotaxi service Waymo making its debut in NYC with a pilot testing program as per the New York Post. So again, New York Post reporting that Waymo is making its debut in NYC with a pilot testing program. UBER dropping a bit. Let's also talk here about the 10-year note auction. It came in here at 4.362% high yield. So prior to the auction, the high yield was at 4.365. So 4.362 with the auction, 4.365 previous. Infinitesimal difference here. The market is moving a bit, but this auction is pretty much exactly in line with the previous number. Back to you.
Okay, so there it is. Yeah.
See what Jorge Garcia said there in the chat?
Thanks, brother. Dang.
Thank you, Jorge. Appreciate you.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I know you like it.
yeah.
I know you like the cast of characters.
I like that.
They got
I like
on
the
there.
judge.
I like the judge. I like the judge. He's a
judge.
character. He's an aggressive guy though, eh?
Yeah.
A little
I like
bit
that. I
aggressive.
like that.
Yeah.
You need to be.
No nonsense kind of guy. Very New York.
Very New
Yeah,
York,
very short-tempered.
I like
short attention span.
Yeah. I like Kelly Evans as well too.
You like Kelly Evans?
Yeah.
How about Morgan Brennan?
Morgan Brennan? I don't really know that guy too well.
Well, it's a woman.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but then there you go. That's healthy.
You don't know Morgan Brennan?
I like Deirdre.
Deidre Bosa?
Yeah.
She's Canadian.
She's very much so. And who else do we
You
got?
know, what's her name? The Greek girl, the Canadian Greek girl from Montreal with a long last name. Come on. What's her
name?
I forget her name too. All right,
yeah,
quickly here, Joseph. Egg halted down. Oh, baby, this thing was halted at $12. It opens up, bless you, Neil, at $9.75 or so. It is halted down at $8.78. So egg giving up the ghost. It is below the volume weighted average price. It's kind of retracing quite aggressively. It's just lost about 54%, quick as you like, off that 100% day. It is now down to 46 1/3%. Trade this carefully. Not Sarah Eisen, man. Something Pathanakis or something like that. Come on, man. Anyway, whatever. My mind is not what it used to be.
Yeah, there's a couple other individuals on there. Obviously, Becky Quick is a good one too.
Becky Quick's a heavyweight.
Yeah, I like Becky. She always used to.
I just like her for her level head.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
level-headed
absolutely.
individual.
No, like I know you like your boy Sorkin there too.
No. I don't see eye to eye with that guy on anything, man.
I know you like
on
Sorkin.
anything,
I
man.
know you like Sorkin, man.
Oh
It's all
God,
good.
he drains my energy.
Yeah. Sorkin, yeah, he's an interesting one. Yeah. All right, guys, yeah, SoFi looking pretty good. I know a lot of people in the chat were talking about this one, and I was actually looking at this from a daily to buy some potential puts. And I mean, with this one, you got to go about like 5 or 6 or something.
I just remembered Christina Partsenevelis.
Christina Partsenevelis.
Yeah, you can't blame me for that last name, bro. That's a tough one.
That's a big tough one there. Yeah, we'll go over that in a second there, guys. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at here on SoFi. You see that nice popping tail candle at an extreme high. So I'm like, okay, is it time to buy some puts here on this name, just some further dated to see what's going on? Like you can grab like 5 or 6 of these here, and it's only going to cost you about like $600-700, so it's not too bad. With that being said, let's take a look at some of these SoFi puts. What?
Andrew Ross Gobriel. Shut up, Thomas. Shut up, Thomas.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's how. Yeah, that Thomas guy's that Thomas guy's a character.
He's a troll,
yeah,
bro. I like
super.
him, though. I like him.
Andrew Ross Gobriel. That's funny. So yeah, let's go to this September expiration cycle here on SoFi and take a look at some of these. What these puts are going to cost us here. These 20 puts to be exact, is going to cost you $2. So I mean, you could buy 5 of them, cost you $1,000. That's not too bad whatsoever. And I mean, the at the money IV is still. It's not super cool, but it's not too bad either, 61.5%. So 72 days until expiration. That's what I was looking at on SoFi. Oh, and for my swing positions, full disclosure, I know someone in the chat was asking about our long-term positions. We'll talk a little swing first. I closed some Apple this morning for a small gain, nothing crazy whatsoever. I'm just like, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I had enough of it. It went up to 213. Didn't take anything off the table because I wasn't sized correctly. I was like, okay, let's see if we can run it to 220. Then it comes back to 207, now trading at 208. So I just said AC switch later to that one.
Oh.
And yeah, we'll find something else. But I'm still sitting on some one IBIT contract to be exact, some Google shares and NVDA shares for that. But I want to get involved into some SoFi, so that's why I closed one position, looking to get into another, just via some puts here to see if you can get that breakdown. And I would only look for 50 cents or so on that specific trade there, Sharif. So
all right,
that's what we got going on. I think we got to go
yes,
to
sir.
Adara.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk here about DLXY. This is an IPO from today. This thing is pretty violent, reached a high of $7.20. Opening price was $4 per share. We were priced at $4 per share, so opening exactly in line with the price. This is the IPO here of 2 million shares. Again, $4 per share, apparently offering about $8 million. So pretty small IPO. This is apparently, this name is based in, I believe, Singapore-based oil trader. So interesting look there, DLXY. And let me see how many shares have been traded. Just under 2 million shares. So volume on this, not bad either. DLXY, IPO from today, on the move, and not terrible volume either, but very volatile. Be careful. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Do you have anything to cover?
No, I just went over, cover what you got to, and I'll come back to what I got.
All right, so CADL, we got initially involved at like the mid-90s, scalped up all the way into the high of the day. We just took out 14s now. But this one, look, man, it's still putting up a pattern. We exhausted our shares, so I punched in some more, okay? We're long again at 14s. Let's go ahead and wait at 17s, see what we can get. It's already showing me 16s, and then we're going to wait at 20s. Get it, Katina, man. What's going on over there?
That guy's crazy.
I love it. The Katina, man, it says everything's going long. Repeat that, sorry. Microsoft. Yeah. Go to the Katina, man. Okay, the Katina Man's long $500 on Microsoft after that 507. And then SMCI back short into that 49.5, basically where he got in top wick earlier in the morning, looking to reload that position. Great call out there by the Katina Man.
Yeah, it's just, you can find these all in the stick, you know what I mean? It's the same prices over and over again. This is what trading is. We're doing it live. Let's go.
You're doing it freaking live? Boom! All right, we take out more shares here up into CADL as it takes out 19s, showing me 20s now into the high of the day. CADL, not a bad look. Look to pick this up, I want to say off the 10 or the 20. It's been wildly respectful of either of these ones. On the stronger moves up, it bounces off the 10. In the more consolidative times, it finds support at the 20. CADL into that $6.20 area. Also, Plug Power, finally taking out that 82 seller, at least momentarily. Where's my Plug Power trade? There we go. Momentarily going to 185 high of the day. I'm happy we got that refresh at 78, initially at 82, added at 78. We had that 75 penny dip trade that was for more size, to be quite honest, unfilled as it found support at 76. That's a mistake on me. As I've mentioned many times, it gets to be a crowded trade where the exact area of support is, or resistance. So front run it by a couple of shekels. I personally perceived 74 to be the level. That's why I put it at 75. I should have been more aggressive. I should have been picking up 76. So Plug Power up 28%, looking to take out more here. Keep your eye on that. Egg still halted to the downside over here, Joseph, at 878, and we're not going to get the tap on that. But this could actually find support over here. You're not going to catch me trading this, but there is double top over here initially at 1025, rejects that, I want to say 875 area, then makes its way back into 875 again at around 1105, and then drops only to take it out later. So there could be possible support here for Egg at this level. We'll have to wait and see. Also, ANPA, the IPO that we were talking about from yesterday, 1038 high a day. It is now halted. The first down halt on the day for ANPA, halted down at 847. This one we can definitely see what the tap is, as this one trades on the Nasdaq. So the tap here, 783, the halt level, 847. It's now showing me 791. So in any event, we're slated, at least for the moment, to open down on ANPA. Get it, Katina Man. The Katina Man's getting amped up over there, baby. So shout out to Katina Man. Okay, he's in the dollar club. There we go, baby. All right, so good luck for the Katina Man there. Thomas. Sharid Gobriel. Thanks for sharing the laugh with me. You made my day. I used to mock Arsenal on CNBC on CNBC for years just got tired of his antics. Oh, trust me, Andrew Ross Sorkin, I'm assuming. This show absolutely puts CNBC to complete shame. We thank you very much, honestly, Thomas, for the nice and kind words there. One more thing here.
Yep.
Tisha Perkins back in the chat. Interesting on ANPA. On ANPA, I was gone, but would have traded it if the way up. On the way up, if I were here, I'm sure you would have as well. And I don't think this one's given up the ghost yet, Tisha, because it's still above the 10 EMA. So I want to see how this cookie crumbles. Adara.
Here is AAPL. This one on watch here, we have Bloomberg reporting that Apple is preparing a new Vision Pro with a different chip and a more comfortable strap. Apparently, there's going to be a lighter, redesigned headset model for 2027. So AAPL, we know they just got a new COO. Now they're also apparently preparing a new Vision Pro. Back to you.
And remember Adara when Ming Chi Kuo Weasel back in, remember when he dropped that like big tweet or whatever, and he had like a bunch of different things that day? He did announce it on that day. So this dude always gets the inside scoop. Shout out to Ming. Did he
I love Ming Chi. I'm a huge Ming Chi fan.
Who's the guy from CNBC that's always covering Apple as well?
Oh, the nerdy guy with the glasses.
I really like that.
He's actually a good guy.
Yeah,
man.
I like
Quite
that
smart
kid.
guy.
All right, guys, we're in some NVDA here. Finally, I'm not at the top of the range, so maybe I'll just take a scalp in case we do get an aggressive pullback. But you can see on the lower time frames as we start to zoom in, 1 minute to be exact, that volume to the sell side is really starting to pick up. I was watching the tape, and I seen the weakness start to be displayed as well too. So coming soon, we will see a flush of red, and then there you go. See, just as I mentioned it, even though there is still a little bit of a defense, we're not as reactive to the top side as we are to the downside. So that's why I decided to hop in. I seen this engulfing print, and I'm like, all right, let's get involved here. I am going to take some off just due to positioning. I might be able to get a better position, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 33 there and just leave the rest. There you go, and there's the weakness being displayed. We're getting that breakdown now, guys. A really good look on NVDA. I wasn't sized accordingly. We'll take a little bit more off. I didn't put too much size on this just because I am selling the lows, and we know from yesterday's situation it just chopped around, and I was in that chop too. So there you go. I'm gonna wait for the reload and then possibly get in. CNBC is hilarious. That old Joe guy on Squawk Box is too. Yeah, I like Joe.
No filter on that guy.
Who, Joe?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I love him, man. Look, he's obviously right-leaning, and so some people may not like his politics, and that I absolutely respect. But you gotta love his candor, man. He's old. He's waited a long time in his life.
Dude.
He's filtered out too many words, too many statements that he had to put a cap on. He's done doing all that, Joe.
I love when him and Sorkin go at it about BTC.
Constantly.
Like they're constantly like, it's like, Sorkin obviously doesn't like Bitcoin that much, and Joe just absolutely love it, and he's just like, yeah, so what is the price target?
Good,
so it's just like, tell me you own BTC without telling me you own it. Like with Neil yesterday on IBM, tell me you own it without actually.
Neil was doing his IBM dance yesterday,
IBM
bro.
Dance. We like that one there. But there we go, guys. We've been waiting through for some time on this trade here on NVDA, and just be careful because there might be some more downward pressure because the volume really did start to pick up. Just a small time scalp, just adding into that P&L. If I was at the top of the range, I was waiting for that liquidity grab. It didn't happen. But also what the time and sales was telling me is like, okay, now we're ready to go. And that's just due to and you can see that reflected in the precision of the entry as we flush right back down here. So there you go. Another clean flush to the downside. There it is. Another one. Now we just need to keep an eye out for any forms of indecision around these support levels for a potential bounce. But there it is. A nice move there on NVDA. I don't even know what stock I'm in. That's crazy.
That's all good.
Yeah, but
it doesn't really matter as long as you understand the price action.
And it doesn't even
really all
matter.
That matters.
But yeah, so that's what we got going on.
Put my trust in
you want to know the honest truth? Can't stand Linkin Park, but that's okay. We're on to BTC. Yeah, I don't like those dudes whatsoever. Sharif's gone. Check if there's any cookies if you were gonna actually. No, I'm only joking.
I saved
man. We don't
some,
need
baby.
that.
I saved some.
You sly dog. I didn't even know there was any of them there.
Hold on, you don't even like cookies. What are we talking about
I was
here?
just messing around. Yeah. You know, we don't want to know. Get that garbage out of here.
Oh.
Yeah. As my guy Jack Armstrong would say, I don't know if you knew. what I was referring to there.
Get that garbage, of course.
Yeah,
Raptors.
Raptors guy. Yeah, there we go. We like him. I keep pointing
yeah.
on my screen like you guys can see it. It drives me nuts when I do that. But what we're doing, like you can see me pointing. So what we're gonna look for here, I might get all out, break even, wait for it to come back into the middle of the range, and then just re-short it with more shares because that volume picked up exactly how I wanted to see it, and we got to get more aggressive on this trade.
All right, man, I like it. We're back into MLGO. We're taking prints here. We just took 75s there. Where am I in? 73s. Let's see, 76, 77. I'm loading up here. Let's see if we can break through 75, 75. There's certainly a short seller. I like this one for the rounded shape it did. It was above the volume weighted average price, maintaining its shape above the volume weighted average price. In fact, it defended the 10 EMA on the 5 on a closing basis. It did wick below it at times, but all the closing prints are above the 10 EMA on the 5 on MLGO. So let's see how this cookie crumbles over here. We're back involved. Kind of a break-even trade last time around as we got in, scalped, then got stopped out. Let's see if it ends up doing that to me again this time. I'm looking for another move here. I like what I see from the technicals, man. Again, like I mentioned, above VWAP, above the 10, this, that, and the other. It's got all the right ingredients. Now it's just got to actually do the trade. So that is what I'm looking at there. I'm also in another new trade over here. Excuse me. Yes, CLDI. Back involved in this one. I perceive this one to be doing a rounded bottom off the volume weighted average price with resistance at 20. That's why I've put sell orders ahead of 20 to wet the beak there super quick. I'm obviously looking for a break above that 20 penny level and then a test possibly of the high of the day. It's still technically putting in lower highs, right? So if you were to take area crest, area crest, something just happened there.
Crest. Sorry, Shrip. Something just happened there. I'm like, oh, what the hell is going on there? Yeah, big time volume spike on NVDA, and I'm glad that I took the majority of that position off there because you can see that big spike just went past my break even, but now we're starting to head into the south side, so a big time volume spike, as Neil was just mentioning, I know you guys can't hear him, on NVDA through those support levels, so I'm really curious to what's going to follow this. Are we going to continue this selling, or do we break through that ascending wedge? But that was a big time volume spike, and it's continued here, Sharif. There must be something going on with NVDA. Adair will bring it to us if we have anything, but yeah, a big time move. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, absolutely, Joseph. That's a good point there. I'm looking to see if there's anything on NVIDIA right now. Nothing that I'm seeing on my blotter. What the hell is it bringing me Boeing stuff on NVIDIA blotter? That's so weird. Not that I'm seeing. So if Adara sees something, she'll let us know. So currently, what was I going to cover? Yes, I was going to cover CLDI. CLDI. So this one is coming back against me here. So we were just singing this one's praise. Look, it's doing a rounded bottom. Anything below VWAP, I'm out. Okay, VWAP on my chart showing 104s right now. There's only one print below VWAP, and that was the candle at 1225. Ends up stopping me out, stops me out. Nothing I can do about that. I like the pattern. I like that it's holding above VWAP. I like the higher lows and the kind of the rounded shape off the volume weighted average price, but that's all speculative until the price action confirms that. So keeping an eye here on CLDI. Let's go back over here to MLGO because it's moving back into about 74s. Each candle here on MLGO has higher lows. So this makes me feel quite optimistic that we could possibly test that 78 penny high. Technically, it's a 77.86 high. On MLGO, which is up about 20% and change. Again, this one is a former runner. It's one that we know a lot about. Anything below 71 pennies gets me out of this trade, which would be a loss of VWAP and which would be a breach of my rules to trade this below VWAP. So that gets me out of the trade. We extracted a couple of beak wetters. They're looking for more. That's all that I have for now. ANPA, that IPO from yesterday, has halted down again. So this one had 4 up halts, and now it's got 2 down halts in a row. Still above VWAP at 525, below the 10 EMA though, which is about 7 mid-50s, but above the 20 EMA, which is sitting about 675. So ANPA on the way down, and true to form, EGG is halted for a prolonged period again, halted at 878. It looks like it's going to be 15 to 20 minutes. Last time it was 25 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25-minute halt on EGG. Could be equally as long or a little bit less? We'll have to wait and see.
Sorry, Sharif. Yeah, NVDA is really starting to tank here. Yeah, there's a good ad opportunity to get right back into this trade. Once you've seen it slowly start to curl over and even got a little bit better of a price. So where I got out was that was the end of the liquidity grab. Not like it absorbed much of mine. I didn't have too much left. But then there you go. You see us turn around and then now breach this low. So I mean, waiting patiently all day. You get that little scalp. I'm still gonna see if we can get another potential trade somewhere. But I want to hyper focus and see where we can get that precision entry. It's unfortunate that we didn't get that follow through as we breached through some of those key support levels here on NVDA, and then you get that volatility spike. But that is a big time volume crush right there, and then now we're heading south. So what I was looking at on the options chain is that we are slightly pinned. I mean, there isn't crazy OI on the put side, but earlier in the day, I'm like, oh, okay. That's why I was kind of just confirmed that why we were consolidating, compressing on multiple sessions, and then I just had to pull up the chain, obviously, to look for further answers. It's almost as good as Bookmap, essentially. Yeah, you don't see the equity orders, obviously, but the options volume is so much. But through 160, so 160, we have 43,000 open contracts at that level, so that could be a potential base. But what I was looking at is 162.5. It's only about 4,500, but it was slightly larger yesterday, but nothing substantial. But as you head lower, there is multiple put walls, and that's why you can see the stock is struggling to continuously make these new lows. It's going to take a lot of liquidity to absorb that. And so we're kind of pinned right now, I believe, in this in NVDA, and you can see that reflected on the daily price action as well, too. We've just been on this upward slant, and then now been trading between 158 and 160s roughly, 163, 64-ish, and I think that's definitely reflected in the price action of NVDA. Adara, what do you got for us?
We just have Financial Times reporting here that CEO Huang of NVIDIA, of course, that is Jensen Huang, is planning to travel to Beijing to launch a new AI chip. Apparently, that'll be as early as September. Again, he's going to be trying to talk to Chinese officials to get this chip launched. We know that Chinese chip revenue is pretty big for NVDA, so if they can get this up, that would be a good look for the company. Right now, though, as Joe just mentioned, the stock a little bit waffly and even kind of pushing lower. Back to you.
And yeah, Paul Thomas, that's what I used to do as well, too. I would used to write a lot of bull puts. That was one of my favorite strategies, bull put spreads, and you could just continuously collect premium. But I took some hefty hits here, and you guys even seen that one day where I took like a $1,400 loss writing some Q's calls. It's like at that point, I'm like, you know what, I got to relax on this writing stuff. But it was also the wrong environment as well, too. Like I'm writing options in a headline sensitive market. From what I've experienced, I won't be doing that again. I want more subtle, more quiet, and just calm and cool price actions, not where you have the ability where one headline or one tweet can just blow your option out of the water, whether it be to the top side or to the downside. But you can see that NVDA is weak. We broke through that consolidation and now are extremely south of that level here, Sharif. So that's a really good look. Top end of the range, I was waiting for a specific level to come and it didn't. But once I seen that tape flipped and the momentum turned to the downside, that's when I'm like, okay, this is where I'm going to punch and not necessarily pray. There's a method behind the madness, but at the end of the day, that was a good, successful scalp right there, and maybe we'll get a nice move back into the middle of the range and look for that second opportunity for that leg lower, or even move our eyes towards the Qs. I like how indecisive the Qs are right now. If we get anything above VWAP, then I'm going to be looking for some shorts there.
All right, man. Added to this MLGO position as it comes into VWAP. It's trying to defend VWAP now, but if it loses 70, that's going to be the end of the trade. We've got 73s on. It's showing me 71.5, so we're already out of the money. Popping in to 72, but I don't know if this one spikes up. It broke trend a little bit there, so I'm a little bit concerned about this one, not going to lie. So we're going to keep my eye here on MLGO, up 17 1/3 above VWAP, but definitely being met with some selling here on the day. Back into 72 it goes. We'll have to see where the sellers are going to step up this time, because last time they were stepping in at around 75 pennies. So where are we at? We got 73, so about 72.5 now is what it's showing me. ANPA. So egg, first of all, went down to $7. It's trying to halt up here at 868, showing me a parameter here at 870. Keep your eye out on that. Also, ANPA. This one, 2 halts down, and then it clears the halt level. The halt down level, excuse me, was 844. It pops up into about 875, but it is having trouble clearing that 844 decisively on a closing basis. So this one, another interesting one here. ANPA, there's a lot moving today, guys. Good look on this one, but very volatile and quite spready. Not too bad at the moment, about 15 penny spread. Not too bad. I've seen it a lot worse than that. So ANPA up about 135%, give or take. Let's keep an eye here, though, on plug power. Where's my plug power one? Because it's coming right back into my entry. We took a couple of beak wetters there into 83s and 84s, but now it's back down into 78. And it's at the 20 again. There is support at 75, and I still haven't had that print or that order that's been resting there at 75 print. I think I'm going to allow that one to print because that is where I perceive the resistance is, okay? Previous resistance, now support. We'll see if that ends up coming into play or not. On plug power, am I positive on this one? Yes, marginally, but looking to do a little bit better. Let's go also over here to CLDI. I think I got this one wrong. It is now showing me lower lows and lower highs on the way back down into VWAP. If this loses VWAP, we're out. We're long 14, and I'm not going to add into it unless I see something distinctly different. Shout out to my man Obi. On the other side there. Obi from the other side. Get it there. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at right now, Joseph. Really looking at this MLGO trade, which all of a sudden has stopped trading for whatever reason. Where'd all the volume go? Come on, show yourself, MLGL. Take out that 73 penny order, waiting at 73s and then 74s, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see what we get there.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, we got super chats. I was just about to touch on those. Did we go? Did we do Von Clark's or Jeff Day's? Yeah, I don't. We got a lot of super chats here. All right, I'm gonna roll through them here. Jeff Day. Thoughts on HTS options chain, 9 calls on 8/15/25. HT's.
What happened, Dara? What's happening?
Okay, so basically what happened here was Trump was legitimately asked when was the last time he went sunbathing, and he said, I don't know, it's been a long time. There was lead up, it's not relevant. What was relevant is the fact he legitimately thought about the answer and then provided the answer. And again, I will always tune in with these sound bites if they're not political, if they're just freaking hilarious, in my opinion.
It's nice humor.
Was it why? Was it because Joe Biden's been was on the beach for? Okay, all right.
See him sunbathing? Do you?
Did Donald?
No.
No. What, dude? He's like, how old is he now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, maybe I'll be
age shaming, but
hey, but I mean, yeah. Sorry about the age shame there, Sharif. I didn't mean to do that, but.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Just got dunked on.
No, I didn't. Anyways, HTZ. Well, let's get into this call talk here. Options chain for these $9 calls expiring in August. That looks like, August. Yeah, let's take a look at these 9 calls. Do you understand what you're doing when you are buying out the money? You know what? I've been experimenting with out the monies. I'm an out the money type of guy. But if you're looking for that discount, we're gonna go to that specific expiration cycle that you're referring to. That is going to be the 15th. All right, perfect. Let's pull those up and see what they're currently valued at. Only 40 cents. But by all means, if you think that you're going to appreciate and you just don't think you're going to get chewed up by theta, then go for it. But $9 is going to put you in towards that all-time high. If you're looking to just gain time value off of those contracts because it essentially have no intrinsic, but then by all means do so. But if it also fails to break and heads lower, just hop right out of that trade. But thank you, Jeff Day, for those for that super chat. 40 cents a contract right now, not too bad. NU looks like it's about to break, but watch out, okay? Give me 1 second, Adair. We'll do NU, and then I'll send it back to you, and then we'll come back and do the other super chats. NU, is it going to break out? Watch out. Okay, some big-time key daily resistance zones that we're seeing, and it looks like it wants to knock on the door of those here, Sharif. So if you sit on top and open up above this range, then maybe you will get that breakout. So Von Clark, thank you for that $2 super chat. Adair, what do you got for us?
Yeah, keep an eye here in CRCL. It's actually not really reacting to this at all. It's been pretty weak all day, but CoinDesk reporting that the company has a USDC revenue sharing deal with the second largest crypto exchange, Bybit. So again, CoinDesk reporting that Circle has a USDC revenue sharing deal with Bybit. Back to you.
And then Dreamscape.
All right, Mark Tank, thank you very much for the super chat. $10, my man, dropping cash in the chat. I responded to you, but I want to read it out loud. Not gonna lie, I have taken some serious L's the past few weeks. Question, should I step away or keep grinding? By the way, go Man City. Okay. Look, I don't hate on Man City as much as I hate on Manchester United. That just goes back to a buddy of mine who was a very pro-United, and obviously I was Arsenal. And I like Omar Marmouche for obvious reasons because he's Egyptian. But my question to you is, Mark, why not size down, reassess the strategy, so you continue to trade so you can get the reps in, kind of like everything else comes with reps, and you don't take the big hits because you're sizing down. If that isn't an option, why not step into the sim for a little bit of time and just get the repetitions, iron out what the issue is or whatever the problem is on your end, whether it's a trading thing, a strategy thing, or perhaps a psychology thing, whatever it is. I mean, I guess that's all really predicated upon you wanting to continue. But if you're asking my advice, whether you should take time away from trading, I would say to you, if you wanted to improve at something, would your first inclination be to take time away from it or to continue it, but maybe tweak your approach a little bit? That's my thinking. Obviously, it's up to you, and I respect everything that you do. Do you have any insight?
Mark Tank, I don't know. I think a lot of traders would, and extremely successful traders that I've had conversations with, the amount of times they told me they thought about quitting, but just kept trucking away. I've thought about it countless times myself, but at the end of the day, you got to think about some of the greats and people who are great at their craft. Even when you have a bad day, one bad day is only 24 hours. And luckily for you, it's only a fraction of the day for trading. For me personally, I understand the mental taxation and you want to quit, but you just have to just keep moving forward. No matter what happens, obviously keep those risk measures in place, but that's what, I said this before, a winner is just a loser who tried one more time. So just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And it may seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and I felt this more times than anyone could ever imagine, but just keep moving forward. You can't succeed if you, well, that's not true, but if you want to succeed in this, you can't quit. Just scale down, as Sharif said, step away for a day or two, just analyze the markets. But I promise you, within a couple of days or even by the end of the day, you won't feel as bad about those losses. And you'll be like, okay, what can I do to improve? Instead of thinking of quitting, like yesterday, I'm like, oh, okay, I've been trading like kind of ish as of late. What do? I go home, I sit at my desk as usual, I do some additional work, but then I also break down on what I can do better. And then that's why I came in this morning just saying, hey, I have to be more precise. I know how to trade, but I can't be a gunslinger. That is not my style. I've been doing this for over 4 years now. I know what I'm good at, and I'm just trying to perfect that. So don't quit. Just take a step back, relax for a couple of days, and then move forward. So keep that in mind, Mark Tank. A winner is just a loser who tried one more time. Sorry, 1 second. Dreamscape shorted NVDA with Joe. $2 super chat. Thank you for that one. Closed out at support. Thank you very much, Dreamscape. $2 super chat. Adara, what do you got? I don't know why I hit that one.
Donald Trump talking quite a lot here about tariffs right now. He's answering questions at this meeting with African leaders. He said there will be more tariffs announced today. He alluded to that previously, but he also provided some, I guess, insight on how he's deciding these tariffs. He said, so far, no one's really expressed any complaints, though he's sure they will at some point. But both friend and foe have been very unkind to the U.S. He said the Brazil number will come out maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow morning. And he also said that apparently the formula for tariffs is common sense. Back to you.
Just to touch on this one more time, guys. Trust me, I'm not going to say. I know the mental taxation, man. I promise you. Like you still go through the ringer. Like yesterday, I was so frustrated at myself, but today I'm like, all right, today is a new day. It's a totally different market, and that's the beautiful thing is that no single day is the exact same.
I agree completely. I agree completely. And I mean, we would be bold-faced lying to you guys if we told you guys that we leave every day here contented with how we trade, not questioning the decisions that we've made, whether the trades that we took or the choice in general to become a trader. That would be a bold-faced lie. Absolutely. But I don't think anybody really achieved anything great by giving up the first time, something tough came in. I just don't think that is feasible. Things that are tough take time to execute.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Rogan said it, man. He said the majority of the successful people, he's gone through hell. So essentially, new traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform is everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. One last thing I'm going to say about that. Trading doesn't ever get any easier. You just learn how to adapt. All right, and that's what trading is, right? It will never get any easier because the person who just comes and starts trading today, extremely difficult. What the key is just learning to adapt to the difficulties and just slowly grow off of that.
Is that a major key?
Extremely.
Well, remember GJ Khaled and all his snaps?
Major key.
What was it called? Major key or something? What would he say all the time? He's like, no, he had like a line that everybody was always saying, like major key or.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come on,
Sorry,
chat,
man.
fact check me.
Sorry.
What would DJ Khaled say constantly there on his Snapchats that were super popular?
God did. He would always be like, God did.
What do you mean?
Like, who believed in us? God did.
Oh, well, yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah, there is it.
All right.
You would
the
say
roaring,
major key, yeah.
Pardon me?
Major key.
Major key, that's it. Something like that. Major key, yeah. Yeah, it was like constantly, and he put the key emoji or.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Sorry, I just have thoughts on this as someone who I actually got the DJ Khaled Major Key book for my birthday.
No way.
Around that time, I was following him on Instagram heavily. Yeah, it was don't ever play yourself, Major Key. And then like all of these like, rules to life, like don't leave the jet ski on or like weird things like that.
Yeah.
So he also was posting the pool a lot, and he posted the birth of his son. Like DJ Khaled's Snapchat presence from 2016 to 2017.
Yeah.
Chaotic and amazing.
That's why he calls himself father of Assad, by the way.
Yeah, because
you know that's how you refer to people in Arabic a lot. You don't say their name, you say that the father of or the mother of somebody.
That's really cool.
It's actually a way to kind of like not call him by name, show respect. Anyway, that's why he's doing it.
Because it centers the kid too, and not the parent, which I like.
Well, exactly. Well said.
Yeah, he loves Assad, man.
Another one. Oh yeah, we got the Katina man's got that one. I don't have that one on my
That guy's
thing
funny.
there.
Him in the Ashton Hall race, that's jokes. You see that?
Oh yeah. Poor guy, bro.
Yeah,
Poor guy.
Obviously, you know what I mean? He's doing it for laughs at the end.
Someone ran into Ashton Hall, I think, on Hollywood Boulevard or something like that. Completely surprised him.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming he did it for a reason to kind of get a reaction so it could go viral. Ashton was not buying that at all. He was super nice, very respectful.
What's going on, man?
Yeah. He wasn't getting conned into that. So, and that's the thing, bro. Like once you start making it, everybody starts praying for your downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit, right? Like they don't want you to make it.
That's the
man.
thing,
They
right?
wanna see
Everybody
you
wants to see kings fall, right? They like you when you're lower end, and then once you've completely made it, they just want to see your demise.
Then all of a sudden you're public enemy number one.
Exactly.
Hello, Randy. How are you?
Buddy.
You got a sore back. Well, you've been doing a lot, man.
All right, Luciano. One more time.
What happened,
There
Joe?
it is, Luciano.
What
He's
happened?
on timeout for a little bit there.
Buy more CLDI.
I'm gonna be generous today because
I'm long CLDI, Joseph.
I am kind. As our God King Xerxes would say, I am kind.
Whoa, yes. Yeah. That was hilarious. I like that.
You know what I
In
mean?
300, yes.
I am kind.
Good call out there. Lucid fell back down, Randy's saying. Yeah, well, in case you guys missed the headline yesterday, Lucid set world record? World record for EV range. Is it for a specific battery size or was just all out most ever? I'm assuming it probably has something to do with the battery size, right? Largest pack, Randy's saying. He's going to double check and let us know. But yeah, look, man, Lucid is kind of like Rivian in that sense, and there is no expense spared in terms of quality of the vehicles. That doesn't make them cheap, obviously, and they're beyond the means of a lot of people. Let's be honest. I think the entry price, at least in this country, is over triple digits. And what percentage of the population do you say that applies to? So, yeah. Obviously, they need to expand their moat a little bit, and they have been. They've been talking about a smaller-sized SUV, the Gravity, the larger 3-row SUV, is out in the United States. People are already getting deliveries. We're going to start getting deliveries in Canada towards the end of the year, but they're already planning, like Rivian is, with the R2, they're already planning that smaller version of the SUV, more mass marketable, hopefully more affordable, because I don't know what you looked at here, but the sticker price, the entry sticker price on that SUV, the Gravity?
Yeah.
135? Am I correct? It's 135, yeah. 135, bro. Yeah. Like, we haven't even paid the 13% HST.
There you go.
You haven't paid anything on top of that.
Probably no warranty on that.
Well, there's definitely a warranty, Joseph. Come on, it's brand new. But you haven't paid the interest rate on the financing yet on that.
Straight cash.
We're talking about just sticker.
You got to pay straight cash.
No, it's an expensive toy.
It's insane.
I mean, in their defense, a loaded Model X Plaid, the
Yes.
Volvo EX90, which is the electric version of the XC90. Like, there's a lot of $100,000+ Canadian electric SUV 3-rows out there.
Yep.
So, you know, it's not. Is it on the moon? No, but it's top tier.
The thing I was going to say to you, obviously, if you're in the market for a Model X, the beautiful thing is they've been around for a long time. And now the ones with version 4 hardware, I think from 22 or 23 onwards, so you can get those ones with version 4.
I think so, yes.
I'm pretty sure it's 22 and a half. He started putting it in the summer of 22. Going into 23, maybe the deliveries in Canada probably have them 23 and after.
Yeah.
In any event, you can get a version 4 model under 100K. They're under 100K.
Yeah,
the Model
not
X.
by much, but yes, you can.
Like
yeah,
low 90s. I'm seeing 23 models and up. So
no, for sure.
Yeah, and then you're not obviously paying all the duties and everything that comes with that at point of sale.
But even
right?
still in that bracket, you've got the Lyric and the Celestique, and you've got the Cadillac.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of other product out there in that price category.
And, the Cadillac's really picking up, Randy.
Cadillacs, I love them.
Yeah. The Lyric really, it's finding a niche because I'm seeing a lot more of them on the road. And my understanding as well is that the people who were disenchanted with our friend Elon have been weaseling in to Cadillac because it's a viable alternative. And see the sticker price on that? South of 80.
Yeah.
South
and
of
it's
80.
a beautiful car
for
inside.
For a 600 some odd kilometer range. I think even somewhere 700. If I'm not
620 or 40 something. It's a beautiful car inside and out. Another big seller, and this is a total surprise to me, is the Honda Prologue.
I haven't seen too much of those, to be honest.
I've seen I think 5 or 6 on the road this week.
Really?
You got to look for them. They're kind of plain Jane looking, but
are they BEV?
Totally BEV, but they're built on the GM Ultium platform.
Oh.
Blazer.
What else is built on that platform?
Chevy Blazer, the smaller version of the Lyric, I forget the name of it. The Acura ZDX is also built on that. So it's interesting that Honda and GM partnered to use that platform and their batteries. I mean, the sheet metal, the interiors are all different, but the Prologue is actually outselling the Blazer, even though it's built on the same platform.
Really?
Look up Prologue sales numbers. It's a real
are you
winner
surprised
for.
by that though? Let's be honest.
I think the Honda's done a better design element with it. Apple CarPlay and
reputation,
Android Auto standard. Yeah, not even offered on the Chevy. Apple was. A bit more feature laden, really nicer looking car than the Blazer. But again, the same chassis underpins both models. So the drivetrain and the technology and the batteries, even the steering column and the stalks on the it's still GM.
Okay.
But Honda's taken a real sales step with this, and it's quite a surprise. The ZDX, I don't know, I've never seen one, but it's amazing that how they're actually outselling the GM model on their own platform. So it was a pretty.
That's not what you want if you're GM.
Well, I mean, at least
they're making some licensing money off that. I'm assuming they're getting money off that.
And down the road, they're going to learn from this, and you know, as they build more electrics. But yeah, GM's winning with their electric platforms, and it's a nice sales success, I think.
Good to know. There you go, Randy.
There you go.
Midday chat. I used to call that Randy's rant, but these aren't rants. These are informative sessions, so I hesitate to call it that. Guys, we are breaking out on MLGO, and more pleased I could not be. We're taking prints to the high side there. I'm happy that we added into 72. Just took a 76 print. Now we're waiting for that 77 print that is going unfilled. The deal here is, though, on MLGO, is that we got a 77.86 high, and there was a double top there. So I am very much on the alert for a 77 to 78 seller that we couldn't shake. Let's get past 76 first before we start talking about 77s, because we're still at 75, high 90s. There we go. Now we're into 76 territory. Can we continue to kind of see what the 77 seller has in store for us, whether it's posted on the level 2 or ends up being an iceberg order? closer. Nice move up here into 76 and 2/3. MLGO is on the move up right now. It is up 25%, but entering a critical level here, as this is where we kind of tanked last time. And you'll notice the move into 77 and change was on a wick basis. Both the closing prints on this candle and this candle were all south of 77. So down below 76 we go. So that short seller stepping in again here, Joseph. We're going to have to keep an eye out on that. I'm still packing my patience here on CLDI, looking at wetting the beak. I think I got shares on here, so I should probably start extracting some out. No, actually, I don't even have that many. So, oh no. We got stopped out for a little bit. That's why. Oh, B word. Oh, that was a mistake by me. I should have been putting below $1. Anyway, we got taken out a little bit here. That's why we don't have as many shares as I had thought on CLDI. So that's on me. Should have been doing a little bit of a cleanup there, Joseph. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. The 2 positions, 3 positions, MLGO. What's it called? Plug Power and CLDI.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say something about good old Plug Power there, but
crap.
Yeah, Amazon, something must be going on with Amazon. And there we go. Adara's got that news from him. As soon as I get the good to go, we're going to Adara. You can see Amazon, volatility spike, and a big-time print in the candle. Adara, what do you got for us?
Here's the news on AMZN. This is just a report. I'm not seeing who it's attributed to yet, but Amazon Prime Day sales apparently falling by 41% in the first day of the 4-day event. So I guess yesterday, these sales fell by 41%. We know we heard reports earlier that the morning of day 1 had already weaker sales. Looks like the first day not off to a great start. This is day 2 right now. So again, two more days, 2.5 more days. But right now, apparently 41% decline here for the first day of Amazon's 4-day Prime event. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, so Selena messaged me yesterday saying she wanted to buy all this stuff from Amazon. I said, no, we're not going down the Katina Man route where we spend $15K on Amazon this year. So, what?
No, I'll just never forget the text message. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Man, she's always asking me for stuff.
Yeah, man. It's just like, relax. You know what I mean? Jeez. Like, you know what I mean?
Bro, there's no lie in you, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're the best. So
always,
funny.
man. It's just like, you know what I mean? We got it good. So just relax a little bit sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, as for the Amazon Prime, you can see those numbers are down drastically here, guys. And that's a big time volume spike right there, Sharif. And you can see that's also a large engulfing candle here as well, too. So if you were playing the break of this, waiting for that move lower, then there it is. And the volume supporting that. So once things start to cool off, look for the continuation in the trend here. But first, you want it to come back, pull back. Hopefully, or like here it is, the game plan for me personally. So what would need to happen is we come back, we retest this support level, and then we slowly start to curl back over and then head back towards those lows. So there it is. Amazon Prime Day sales down 41% in the first couple of days.
All right, guys, we're at 77 now on MLGO, and here we are. We're touching 77. We're going to have to cross it to get printed. A good move here on micro algo to the tune of about 25.5, 25 and 2/3%. I'm looking for that big boy break above 77, and then let's see where we squeeze to. Maybe we can squeeze to $1. Maybe not immediately, but let's get through that 77, then even 78, because we know somebody was selling in the high 7s. That's where the double top took place, 77.86, the high of the day on MLGO. Oops. The trade that I'm kind of having trouble with deciding what my next move is going to be is on Plug Power. We got 81s on. It's showing 79s. It's kind of found support multiple times at 76. I haven't gotten filled because I've been waiting at 75 like an idiot. But the point is now we've got that 85 top and we haven't been making any higher highs. In fact, I want to say the lower highs are more glaring to me than the higher lows. Sure, we have the two defends of that 76 penny area, but we're hanging out a lot closer to this area of support than we are to this area of resistance.
Wow.
So with time winding down here on the show, I'm really at a crossroads for how I want to execute on this trade. on Plug Power. It's just too consolidated for me at this level. I'm really unsure how to play this one. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. If you're long Plug Power, if you're not, what's your objective view of what I should do here? Tag me so I can keep an eye out, Joseph.
Yeah, I was just going to mention.
Just interrupt me
Bull.
next time, dude.
Just Bull. Big time break. I don't think necessarily do it, but sometimes we do. Yeah, Bull. I see it, guys, in the chat. We have this going right now. Volume supporting it. There you go, Bull, on this massive run here, climbing to the top side. I have this level here marked out. So what is that going to coincide with? Let's zoom out and see what we got going on from a daily perspective. All right, there's the resistance zone. We're going to probably tap right into this momentarily, see how this underlying reacts around that specific level, because I think it's going to be extremely important. And then boom, just like that, Sharif, you get an inverted hammer candle print. So you get this massive engulfing candle to the top side, and then now you have sellers having the ability to push back down price. Push it. Oh, there it goes. Boom, on for another rip. Is that volume going to pick up? Never mind looking on this chart. I need to see the tape on this name. Let me pull up the time and sales, because that's going to be extremely key on what we got going on. Bull. A lot of it in between. We don't want any of that nonsense, but the strength is still there. And also, look at the imbalance on the tape. There it is. Boom, flushes, continuous flushes. And you can see the imbalance on the level 2. Extremely important. This is what you guys want to talk about on a strong stock. There it is. Boom, and you get an additional flush, but what is immediately followed by that? Some more aggressive asks. Aggressive. So there it was earlier when we seen those continuous flushes. I talked about looking for a strong stock, a weak stock, etc. And there it is displayed very, very well. Webull starting to pick up some steam and pulling back as well too.
Dara, remind everyone to vote.
Go in the chat. I think you just put your ticker, $ ticker, I believe, to vote. So do that. Also, BULL is no news, lots of social media attention, your typical meme thing. I just wanted to let you guys know and keep you apprised. I did look into it, and there is no news. Back to you.
Guys, super simple. We need a good amount of votes so that we can have, a decent afternoon rundown. It's a super simple way to vote. Thanks to the Chilean Nightmare, Fabian. There he is, throwing up the chat there. Throw in the $, followed by the 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Let us know what you want spoken about by the big kahunas, Neil and Sean, who are going to be on in less than 8 minutes. If you want their take on things and how they would have traded it, and if they didn't trade it, and if they did trade it, how they traded it, throw your tickers in now. Super simple, guys. The $ and the 3, 4, or 5-letter ticker. Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely. There goes the market there too, guys. And it looks like NVDA wants to crack the support level low, but I'm just going to be patient and wait on this Amazon. I do like this volatility spike, and you can see that we came right into the support level closely, and then now we're rejecting it back to the downside. So just be cautious on this name, right? Just in case it does have another volatility spike.
Come in.
Who is it? Who is it? Don't be knocking on my door like that.
Yeah. You don't catch hands.
We most definitely on that one. But Amazon, guys, starting to pull back. Wait for a reaction around this specific level. Market is taking a little bit of a bounce here. Oh, something going on with Google. What is going on here today?
Love this.
This
I love everything about this.
Let's go, Google. We got that news. Oh, you piece of garbage. I should have sold this too. All right, Adair, what do you got for us? This is really bad.
Apparently OpenAI is planning to release an AI web browser. That's just a report right now. The bigger thing too, though, before we put the sirens, I have something else I'd like to say. So with Google, beyond the fact that we have this report now, OpenAI planning to release this AI web browser, we also had earlier today, as I mentioned, Perplexity also releasing an AI browser. So bad look for Google, double whammy of catalysts. Back to you.
Oh, my days.
The Katina man just went and got himself a full coffee.
Who is this guy? Who is this Robert Smith?
What happened? What's going on? In the chat?
Yeah.
You taking him out?
I got him out. He's out.
All right, Robert. What's going on over there?
Oh, wow. This is not good for Google. Oh, my days.
Well, I mean, Joseph, have we not been talking about this AI web browser for a hot minute? I feel like this has been on, well, it's all good there, brother.
No, I'm not even worried about that, Shreve. I want to talk about this web browser as well, too, because I think that, like Apple, we know that Google has the most amount of data there is, and they still couldn't get it completely right. Why are we still using this old bleep search engine? Why?
Yeah, it's tough for people to change like a company like that.
Yeah, but
overnight, bro. Like,
I know, but they've been working on it for a long time.
Look, they've been late a lot, man. I've told you this. They had AI. They refused to release it because it wasn't perfect.
Right.
They wanted to maintain that standard in the same way that Apple is doing that. Their AI is not perfect, and they're refusing to release it. And guess who? What? OpenAI came first. Got first mover advantage.
There you go. And I use this example as well.
No, you're not wrong, Joe.
Don't get it twisted. Google still has 4 billion weekly average weekly users. 4 billion compared to ChatGPT's 800 million.
Yes.
All right. But the thing is, though, there's more room for ChatGPT to grow than there is for Google. It's been for so long, and I mentioned the Blue Link Society is on its way out. People want that single search. We don't want to continuously scroll through links. We want to type in it, and we want to get a definitive answer. Matthew, who is this guy, man? It's driving me nuts, man.
What's happening? Oh, he's just logging in from his other account. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, dude. Look, we can block you way quicker than you can make another Google account. Just keep, don't spam. Just
spam,
be part of the community, guys. All right, I got to cover these trades.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing it freaking live on MLGO. It just took out the top, and we got the top right now. MLGO up into 78s. We're also doing it freaking live on CLDI. Where the hell is my CDR chart? Boom! We got 7s on. It's showing me the quarter dollar. I'm so disappointed that I got stopped out of some of the position over here, but that's on me. I should have been cleaning up. Look at this one squeeze, guys. We're taking out a lot of sellers right now. Into 27s we go, 28s momentarily. Can we weasel up to 30? Pardon me, I'm gonna look to flatten out over here. We're taking out sellers at that 30. 29 is now showing up. Big seller at 29. The show's almost over. I'm taking it out there. Very happy with how today's trading went. Look, we didn't put in the best execution on every attempt, but I was happy with the selection. Like, for example, this out here is gonna haunt me because we actually had size on over here, and now we don't. So a little disappointed with how I execute on CLDI, but I'm liking how I was able to read the chart. I also am happy with how MLGO defended the volume weighted average price. I was quite concerned here about MLGO. Let me make my point as to why. Because we had uninterrupted lower highs preceded by two topping tail candles. So we kept putting lower highs, and then over here, this candle right here at 135 felt, because it ended up being a topping tail, it felt like it was going to be yet another lower high. But then the buying came in aggressively at 140, and then we spiked, and you saw what happened after that. So MLGO in focus. Now, the only trade that we've got on right now is, the other one that I really am concerned about is Plug Power. It's coming down again over here into that 76 penny area, and I have an active order at 75. Do I allow this to trigger? Oh boy. Anyway, whatever it is, Google really got dumped. Yes, it did chill vibes. It got dumped pretty good, but it's still up on the day, man. And you can't say that for Tesla, Apple, or Uber. So, and I know I keep Uber there with the Meg.
Wow, bro, we had a lot of breakouts just now. Bull, Amazon, Google, there was a lot of names that just had massive volatility spikes.
We've been getting a lot of activity on the midday, man.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Quite good, yeah.
So apparently my new job is just continuously to remove this person here.
I got him. Don't worry about it. There he is. He's gone. So funny. He keeps logging in from different Googles. How many Google accounts do you have, man? Stop logging into all of them there. My God, this guy. What happened, Katina, man? Your boy Google just took a big of a drop there because of this AI web browser that your boy Altman.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I was just trying to see what it was there. It's a nice, it's nice, but let me hold on, flex there for me. Come on, man, flex there.
I love this guy's energy, man. Straight up energy, man. You're the one that invited him to touch the pecs, Katina, man.
Yeah, you can't just touch one. Without getting to feel the other one.
Both hands.
There you go. There you go. Oh, Joey. Okay. All right, we're having a great time over here, guys.
Check out Google and Amazon there. You know what I mean? All right,
guys. Absolutely, Assassino, you request and we do, my friend. Let's do it over here. Guys, we're talking about the top 1 futures. Are you looking to trade futures like the Nasdaq, the SPY, or even Bitcoin? Well, guess what? Top One Futures is one of the fastest growing prop firms out there, baby. They give traders the chance to manage up to $1 million in capital. And you choose your own path. You can choose the instant funded challenge, or you can choose the actual challenge account, or even a pro account if you're interested. And you start trading your way to real payouts and even a live account. And in the last 90 days alone, they've paid out over $10 million and earned 1,000 plus 5-star reviews from real traders just like you. So if you're interested, use a discount code TTV to save on any account, guys. Scan that QR code or head on over to top1futures.com, Joseph, and start trading your way to real payouts.
Real good stuff there, guys. Before we send it off to the boys to our right, I want to go over the super chats here that we've got. We've got to make sure we check on them. Walter Ford, can you check on Bull? Yeah, we've been looking at Bull, and you can see it reject here. We'll run through this quickly before we send it off. It rejected this level that we had marked out from the daily, and then now heading back towards the south side. So just be patient before you look for any form of continuation on that one. But yeah, a big time move there in Webull. And then this is the type of community we live in here. Hypercube, I think he's seen what somebody in the chat said. He said, man, I wish I could oh, there it is, Brian H. I wish I could donate to you guys. You make my day. And then Hypercube goes, here you go, Brian.
Whoa.
Those are, like, if you want to talk about being a good person, that honestly speaks volume. I don't even know you, Hypercube. But the fact that you even did that and you seen what somebody else was asking for, and you kind of just answered their, I'm not going to say it's a prayer, but you just paid it forward, and that speaks volume as what type of person you are.
Yeah,
I don't even know you personally.
It's an easy name to remember too.
Hypercube.
So, Hypercube.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah.
All right, we got 2 in the bank here, Joey. Eh?
Yeah, we did. Well, I'm done
there.
banking now. I don't bank.
You're done banking?
Yeah, I don't
All
bank
right,
anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right, guys. MLGO is breaking out. Watch out. Here we go. MLGO on the warpath to the high side. We're going to Adara. She's got more news, and then the big boys are taking over. Peace.
Chicken fajitas.
Yeah, I have FOMC minutes here. Basically, the key thing, they're saying that several participants are saying the Fed's fund rate may not be that far above its neutral rate. Apparently, most participants did see a persistent tariff impact on inflation. We also had apparently all participants viewing it as appropriate to maintain the Fed's fund rate at the future target range. So again, it looks like they were all united in their decision. But yeah, just keep in mind, tariff inflation apparently still viewed as a risk. There's also on July rate cuts, because we know that's been on watch. There was some commentary on that. Apparently, a few participants, or a couple of participants, to quote the meeting, said they would be open to considering a rate cut as soon as a July meeting, as the data evolved as they expected. Now, we know what 2 participants those are, likely based on comments, likely Feds Waller and Feds Bowman, the 2 Fed participants who have actually said they're open to a July rate cut. But either way, it sounds like a couple are open to that July rate cut. Most are apparently down for September. Apparently, though, they did see higher real GDP growth for 2025 than in the previous forecast. And inflation, they're expected to be a little bit lower. So mixed data there. Mixed, I guess, sentiment from the Fed meeting. We're going to send you over to the Big Kahunas, as they are called.
Big Kahunas, all right.
Big Kahuna Burgers.
Lunchtime. What was going? Oh yeah, Big Kahuna Burgers.
Look, Google.
I heard some shit happen.
Google was intense. I got the worst wick that you can possibly imagine.
That always happens.
No, it is what it is. Like, it's weird because it doesn't. This will not look like a flat trade, but like it actually worked out to a flat trade. OpenAI, which I think we knew.
Yes, we
was
did
coming.
know that. That was the reason why we sold.